Hi guys. Shocker, I'm late a little bit. Not bad, not as bad as usual. 4 minutes. Can you guys hear me first? Can you hear me? I should just open YouTube and see for myself. Dun, dun, dun. I have a really interesting case for you guys today with some outside footage. Um, um, Trying to find my live stream to see if I can hear myself. Oh, yeah, you guys can hear me. I hope it's decent because when I did listen back to the beginning of the stream yesterday and the audio was off. Um, do you hear, are you hearing the background noise that I was hearing yesterday? That it like wasn't clear. Okay, microphone noise removal is on. You'd hear me. Why doesn't it show me my own channel? View my channel. Live. Let me hear. Talk. Oh, it's not bad. Okay. Okay. So thank you, Heather. I asked Heather earlier to help me with eyelashes because I don't like to wear mascara because it's really hard to take off. But these little strip eyelashes that are like, I don't know, they come in a thing like this. Let me show you. Sorry, I'm sniffling. They come in a thing like this. And anyway, I was having problems with the glue, but she gave me a little technique on how to do it, and it's way better. And it only took me not very long. And I can rip them right off after I'm done and still have a clean face. Okay. I'm going to play a quick kind of pre-stream from Judge Champagne because I actually forgot, like, I've been avoiding my Discord a little bit lately because I have a new computer. And when I'm on the new computer, I have to sit in a chair. And after a long day or a long stream, I don't necessarily want to continue to sit in a chair. I want to lay down in my bed. But I can't do that with the computer because it's a big computer, right? So last night, I moved this chair. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, why is the background thing on? I'm sorry. I hate when that happens. I can just kneel on the floor, actually. I don't even know why that's on. And sorry, anybody who's watching this later, if I don't delete it right away, just fast forward until you see court starting to happen. Okay, so I move this chair and the little, like, what do you call it? Where'd it go? Where is it? Oh yeah, the little like thing, so we can like lay on it. Anyway, it's way better, but I need to move back the actual desk chair because I can't sit there and stream. So I'm gonna play like an arraignment from Judge Champagne real quick, and I'm gonna move the chair. Share. And then I will be right back with the actual case and some live stream from the person that got arrested and some pictures and a little news article about what's going on. Anyway, super interesting. I'm going to hit play, turn off my video, move this. Thank you, Dana. There's I'm not going to lie, there is a setting on StreamYard that says touch up my appearance. Okay. And there are levels. There is none. Okay, let me show you none. Okay, regular. This is regular. You can see like the bags a little bit. There's subtle, which is what I had on. And then there's like cartoon level, like moderate, which this is not moderate. This is a little bit more than strong. And we have the last setting. I am not even a real person. So that's my secret to, I guess, nice skin, but I should turn it off because that's kind of like cheating. You guys can deal with my eye bags. Okay, here we go. Present, I presented it. Every time it's touch my appearance, it gives me a haircut and a shave. Oh my God. Don't make my eyes, okay. I'm gonna shut up and push play. I'll be back as soon as this hearing is over.
Basic supervision.
Move the chair. Here we go.
Hi, Ms. Rayburn. How are you?
Be right back.
Confused.
Well, there's no need to be confused here.
Okay.
Well, I am just a little bit, but okay.
Let me pull up all your paperwork so I can at least answer your questions intelligently, okay? All right, so it looks like you were originally arrested
I need to
for a
stop
domestic
sniffing.
battery and then arguing and fighting with the cops. So as you sit here today, you have 2 charges of obstructing and resisting arrest that are holding you in jail. And there's a possibility that the city attorney is going to be filing domestic battery charges against you. They've got a little bit of time left before they have to actually file those. And so I'm guessing what they're doing is doing a little bit of research and a little investigation and figuring out whether or not these are good cases for them to file. So your bail right now is set at $1,000 cash. I did take into account the fact that you were arrested on both of these charges when I set the bail at $1,000 cash. So I was taking into account the obstructing and resisting and the domestic batteries. So Ms. Schumann, I'm not forcing you to tell me what the exact status is, but what are your thoughts on her custody status and where we're going on this?
Your Honor, I believe she's probably going to be charged with 2 counts of domestic battery. Monday would be my guess. Looks like in this case, it's alleged that she attacked her husband, who was trying to make sure she was okay and didn't hurt herself. She had some kind of mental breakdown. And in the process, she ended up trying to see here. She just had started attacking him. He ended up having redness on his chest and his neck. That was observed by officers. She also attacked her son, who was trying to prevent her from hurting herself. She pushed him and punched him. He also had injuries. It looks like she's mentally unstable. She also threatened to kill their animals. So she had some kind of mental health breakdown. So that's concerning. Criminal history, it looks like she has a domestic battery arrest from 2019 that was dismissed. I'm assuming we have the same victim, but I can't say for sure. She's got a contempt of court from 2015, another domestic battery from 1999 with no dispo.
All right.
I just want to add in, so we have her booked under the Don Bats, both of them. And those were the initial charges. And then she was ad booked on the O&R ×2.
Okay, well, and look, I'm just looking at the packet that I had here, and it looks like I'm pretty sure. God, I hope so that I did take those 2 into consideration when I read through this for PC.
Yeah, it looks like
Let's see. Yeah, because my signature's on that with both the O&R and the domestics on there. Okay. All right. Ms. Burning?
Your Honor, I would be asking, I think the prosecutor's correct. There's some, Ms. Rabor is disabled. I believe that $1,000 cash bail is nothing that she can make. She's not working at the present time. She only has her disability. I would be asking for the bail to be bondable so that she can get out of jail. And also I'd be asking, she's willing to stay away from the alleged victim, and she's willing to do whatever the court asks her to do. So that's what I'd ask for.
All right, Ms. Rabor, is there anything you want to say?
I'm a little
About all
confused about the resistance of the officer.
Okay,
Okay.
so I don't want to talk about whether or not you're guilty
sir.
or innocent. I don't want to
Okay.
hear they framed me or
No, I
did
was
it.
confused.
I don't want to hear.
No, I'm
Nope.
just saying I'm confused.
Yeah,
that's all.
okay. All I want to know is whether it's safe to let you out of jail or whether
Yes, sir.
or not I've got to have some money on the line.
No, Your Honor.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you live with your son and your husband, correct?
That is not correct.
No. Okay, do you live on your own normally?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I had read that somewhere in the report, but I can't find it right now. Okay, so that 4th Street address, who lives there?
I live in number 28. My son
Yeah.
lives in number 3.
Okay, where's your husband live?
In number 3.
With your son?
Yes.
Okay,
I live with my daughter in number 28.
okay. How far away from those 2 are each other?
I would say about 7 or 8 trailers, a parking lot.
Okay. All right, so these are trailer spaces, not
Yes.
apartment numbers. Okay,
No.
all right.
Okay, got this. Hold on.
So if you get out, then you're gonna go back to your place at number 28, and they're gonna be at number 3 in the same complex, basically, is what you're telling me.
Yes, sir. There's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah. I understand that. And I know that when I deal with these domestic battery issues, that living situations are a big deal for everybody involved. But here's my worry, Ms. Raber. I've got an allegation here in my reports that show that you were not only violent with your husband and your son, but also violence a strong word, but also non-cooperative. Let's put it this way.
I was told I wasn't.
With the police that I've got here. So I think if I take everything into account, I'm going to leave it at $1,000 cash only and with enhanced supervision. What I'm saying here is I don't think it needs to be relooked at from my point of view if they filed the domestic battery charges against you. If the city feels that the bail is too low at that point, once those 2 charges are filed, they can certainly set the matter for a hearing. But the way I kind of envision this is that it's going to stay at $1,000 cash, no matter what happens with the new charges. All right.
Your Honor, can we add a no contact provision if she is released?
Yes, and I did put that in my bail order. I have a no contact with the victims.
Thank
So
you.
that'll be a no contact, and you stay away from space number 3. I'm not telling you can't go back to your place. I'm telling you got to stay away from your husband and your son for the time being. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
No.
Good luck, ma'am.
Okay, ready. Wow.
All right, William Ricker.
Okay. Is this showing that screen? I gotta find. Still expect technology issues for a little bit longer. I still have one screen, which means I can't see the StreamYard screen where I can see the chat and like the little picture of myself and the picture of the video at the same time as I'm looking at anything else. So I'm trying to find you guys. Okay, there we are. You guys are still here. Hi. Oh, and the thing. Okay. Hide the current comment. Okay, so yesterday I found a pretty interesting case, and it is about this guy. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I can't remember if I saw any of you guys in there. But I got totally hooked, right? And it's about this guy. Okay. So basically what happened is back in February 2021, he set fire to the courthouse in Mason, Texas. Okay, so let me see. And the reason they found that it was him is because like he had a case the next day, I guess. He had a case the next day. And I guess there was maybe a little bit of tension between the parole officers, himself, court staff, even the judge. So in addition to the courthouse burning down, earlier one of his relatives' house was found to be burning down. So dude live streams his arrest, right? Which, I mean, it's okay. I did find it. I edited a little bit, put it together so we could watch it. But I don't know what to do first, the hearing or that thing. Let me see. Hang on. The comment shows people for helping. I learned everything from PIC. Funny. I don't really know a whole lot. But I try. Okay, here we go. Now I need to switch seamlessly like it's my job. Chronological order. I can't do chronological order. Hold on. I'm gonna start the case and then I'm gonna pause it. Where's that open? Here we go. There it is. Didn't I drag it? I feel like the right thing to say during this time technically is like and subscribe. But the last thing I want to tell anyone to do is like a video while I am on the struggle train trying to get it to work. Okay, switch to this. Okay, chronological order. This is chronological order how I found it. And the cool thing about this is that the judge is going to testify. He had to recuse himself. Shit. Here we go. Sure. It's not playing. I can't hear it. Can you guys hear it? Not again. Isn't playing yet.
You were made the presiding judge in place of him. Has to do with restitution,
Thank you for your
where
patience
it came from, etc. Whether or not
and your
people that
kindness.
provided an investigation.
And at least for like going under a pretend screen name to leave awful comments about the lives after they're done. Hi, welcome. I'm
Good morning,
struggling.
Mr.
You're
Miller.
just in time.
Court will call cause number 194833 and cause numbers 214845, 4846, 4847, 4848, and 4849. Each of them styled the state of Texas versus Nicholas Jarrett Miller. For purposes of the defense motion for continuance, what say the parties?
State's ready for the motion, Judge.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Neal?
Yes, Your Honor. We filed this motion for continuance. Just a little bit of background, as the court's aware, we've been working on discovery on this matter. We had the court appointed an investigator for the defense to go through and investigate these the different areas in this case. And our investigator has been doing so diligently. Last week, both me and my co-counsel, Ms. Neal, were out of the office sick with COVID. But while we were out, the state forwarded us a news article that had been recently published by the Texas Association of Counties. And that article quoted a lot of new information that seemingly came from county officials. And that discovery had not been provided to us. And that discovery, the things that are mentioned in the article are things that our investigator, we need to investigate before we go to trial on this matter. A lot of it has to do with restitution, where it came from, etc. Whether or not people that provided money to the Texas Association of Counties or for the courthouse restoration. Need to see if anyone on the jury panel that has been, or the jury panel list that has been provided to us is a part of that. And number two, are also our investigators going through comments on the news articles to see if anyone from the jury pool has any opinions on that. Further, there is some evidence in the article from county officials that had not been provided to the defense. There's
Pull up the
evidence in there,
article.
newly discovered evidence that directly contradicts the fire marshal's report that was provided to us by the state. So we are asking for a continuance in order to track down these new leads, this newly provided discovery, Your Honor, so that we can be prepared to provide a defense for our client.
Let me ask you a quick question, if I may.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain to me the contradiction between the source of the fire, between the fire marshal and the comments by the elected officials.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me find the, there are two quotes, and I believe I did attach the article as Exhibit A to the motion. Did you get a copy of the motion, Your Honor?
I do. I have it in front of me.
Okay, so I am looking, it looks like the pages aren't numbered, but I believe it's the second page. And the very bottom, it says,
Thank you.
the district judge's office burned first. That's at the bottom of that. And then If you go down to the bottom of the third page, there's a kind of the middle of that paragraph. It says fire investigators determined the fire began in his office. And that is referring to 452nd District Judge Rob Hoffman, who the court is aware was taken off of the case, and you were made the presiding judge in place of him. Where that information came from, I don't know. According to and Ms. Alschweid, correct me if I'm wrong, but according to the state fire marshal's report, it's inconclusive where the.
Okay, pause for 1 second. Can somebody who doesn't mind go back and tell me what the name of was the thing that published the article? Because I had it pulled up yesterday and I went into history and I was in a private tab, so it's not pulling it up, and I can't remember and I can't go back. But I wanted to show you the stuff that was in there. But okay, if anybody can do that, that'd be great. If not, that's cool.
Fire started, other than it was somewhere on the second floor. So if there are eyewitnesses who state that it started in that judge's office, I think that's important to know and to track down the source of that info.
Ms. Alschweid?
Judge, I don't disagree with what Mr. Neal has stated in that regard on what the evidence will be. We anticipate the evidence will be at trial. And I certainly have never
County something.
provided the fire marshal's report to anyone other than the defense and the previous defense attorneys in this case. I don't know who else the fire marshals provided that report to. And in order to try to move forward with this, we have the witnesses available if Mr. Neal wants to ask those witnesses where they got that information, because I don't have that information. And the judges that are here on the Zoom have not given a statement to any law enforcement officer or any prosecutor about the origination of the fire that I'm aware of, Judge.
Mr. Neal?
Yes, sir. We would like to ask a few questions of some of the witnesses if the court would allow it. And yet we don't know. We would like to figure out how this information, where this information came from, and if there's additional discovery that we're entitled to.
Who would you like to call?
I guess we just take them in order from the article. The defense would call the Honorable Judge Rob Hoffman first, Your Honor.
Do I have to go back?
Judge Hoffman, are you online?
I can't go back.
I'm here. Rebecca's moved away and I'm at my desk.
Okay. You please raise your right hand. In the matter before the court, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. May proceed.
And Your Honor, if it's all right with the court, Mr. Neal and I discussed that I would be questioning the Honorable Judge Hoffman if the court is comfortable with that, Your Honor.
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I proceed?
You may.
Good morning, Judge Hoffman. I know you and I haven't had an opportunity to meet, but my name is Sarah Neal. I'm a defense attorney and I'm appointed as the second chair in this case. And I have some questions for you this morning. Just for the purposes of the record, I think we all know, but for the purposes of the record, are you currently the elected judge of the 452nd Judicial District Court?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, and again, this is mostly for the purposes of the record, there are no other district courts in Mason County, correct?
That's correct.
So the 452nd is the only district court that covers Mason County, right?
Correct.
And if you know, are all of the causes that we're here for today, the state of Texas versus Nicholas Miller, which would include cause number 214845, 214846, 214847, 214848, and 214849.
Okay. I found the article that they're talking about. And at first I thought, like, what kind of discovery are they having in there that's that? Share this instead. That's that interesting. I'm going to have to make this even bigger. Okay. No, that's not going to work. Where's the small one? I know. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So, so this is a blog. It came out in April. What is it? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So what are we, like 5, 6, 7 months later? I feel like. So there's a blog about the Mason County's recovery. There was a conference. Wait a minute. Is this the wrong? Y'all, that's the wrong article. Where'd it go? Okay, so basically the problem is that the judge that was recused, they're all saying stuff in public that people in a small town um, uh, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna play the video for a minute. I just stopped. I just lost my place. Switch to this tab, and I'm gonna find it, and then I'm gonna pretend that.
Are all assigned to the
Know what I'm talking
452nd
about?
Judicial District Court, correct?
To the best of my knowledge.
And to clarify, and I believe it's in the court's files, but just for a point of clarification, back in 2021, you recused yourself from these cases, is that correct?
I notified the presiding regional judge either the day of the fire or the day after that I would recuse myself from all proceedings. And then upon, of course, I guess it took a while for the cases to be indicted or whatever, but I don't know when officially that was done, but I notified the judge immediately.
And to your knowledge, Judge Abels did first initially appoint himself to preside over these cases, if you know. Do you know?
I believe that's correct, but I can't verify that.
And if you know, did Judge Abels ultimately appoint the Honorable Judge Emerson to preside over all of those causes?
That's my understanding.
But to your knowledge, all of the causes still remain in the 452nd Judicial District Court, correct?
I really don't have any knowledge of that one way or the other.
You have no personal knowledge whether or not the cases are still in the 452nd?
Well, it appears so, since we're here today and I heard the judge call the case and it's Judge Emerson and he called them under those styles, but I have not had any interaction with any of those cases since the date of the fire.
I understand, thank you. Is it your testimony today that you came into the knowledge that the fire started in your office on the date of the fire, which was February 4th of 2021?
I have never been under the impression that the fire started in my office. My understanding has always been that it started in my office suite, which includes the adult probation office, it has always been my understanding that the fire started in the adult probation office, which is in my office suite, but not my individual office within the office suite.
And when you say your office suite, where was at the time of this fire, where was your office suite located?
Okay, I found the thing. Sorry, it took me a minute. It was right in front of my face. Okay, share this tab instead. Full gallery. Okay, so this was like the first courthouse that burnt down like a long time ago. And this is the one that they're talking about. This is for the repairs. So like it's definitely a smaller town. It's a big deal. I mean, look at these people. This is a big deal. So at first I'm like, God, like who really reads these little articles from this county, whatever? The jury, the entire jury, right? Like everybody's out. This is what they do. This is their town. I mean, I wanted to show pictures of the fire. Let me go back. I mean, it's a nice new little courthouse for a town. Let me duplicate that, go back. Images. Here we go. See, the thing is, I want to be able to pull them up big. Why can't I pull them up big? That's all I want to do. Open image in new tab. Do that. God, I quit. I quit life. Oh, no, I don't. Yes, I do. Y'all, I am going to lose my mind. Why? Okay, can you guys see this? Of course you can. Sorry to you guys that are new here. I mess up. Generally, it's why I do my streams in the middle of the night when everyone's already asleep. That's my big secret. Okay. But it was a pretty big fire. Like, I wish I could show the pictures big, but it's not letting me. I mean, just the destruction. And it really was like, you don't just do this. You don't just do this to anybody's small town, let alone a small town in Texas, and think that they are not going to come out swinging, because I guarantee you, I've lived in Texas, they will come out swinging. And anybody that lives there, I'm sure you can vouch for that. But yeah, so the guy, what did he have? He had a hearing the next day. And I don't know what he thought this was going to accomplish. He was just going to burn down the courthouse, and then what? They were going to dismiss whatever stupid charges he had. I mean, how many millions of dollars did this guy cost? Just okay. I'm switching back as soon as I find the window. Here we go. Oh, I can't click there.
Well, it's been reconfigured through reconstruction. There were 4 offices on second floor of the county courthouse in the southwest corner. The southwest quadrant included 4 offices, which were in my office suite.
And when you say your office suite, you just mentioned that adult probation was included in those offices. What other offices were included in there?
From east to west, there was a vault immediately above the main entrance to the courthouse on the south side going west, my office going west, the court coordinator's office going west, the adult probation office, and then on the west side of the courthouse, north of the adult probation, is the juvenile probation office.
And when you say that it was, and I'm not trying to misquote what you said, but I just can't recall the exact words you used. So please clarify if I'm misstating it. But when you said that it was your understanding that it happened in your office suite, but specifically the adult probation office, how did you come into that knowledge?
I think that was just the general understanding that that's the impression I was under, and the understanding that I had from the date of the fire event and every day subsequent to that. I think that was the chatter, the discussions, as that unfolded. That was my understanding.
Did you have an opportunity to see the fire actually occurring on February 4th of 2021?
I did. When I was notified from dispatch that the fire was occurring, I walked out into the street in front of my home and I could see the fire. I, at some point, did go to the courthouse square and observe the fire.
And at that initial point, when you saw the fire, were you able to make any determination on where the fire originated?
Not from my observations, no.
After the fire was ultimately extinguished, did you have an opportunity to review any of the damage yourself?
No, actually, I believe it was over 2 years before I entered the courthouse.
So, as you said earlier, coming into this conclusion that this fire started in your office suite, specifically adult probation, was mostly just from local chatter or an understanding of the local community that you came into knowledge of because you're a member of the local community. Is that a fair representation?
I would say 100% of the information I received was due to that local chatter.
And do you recall any specific instances of this local chatter coming directly from
That's a real
anybody
threat.
affiliated with the fire investigator in this case, or the arson investigation in this case?
No, absolutely not. I've had no contact with any fire investigation.
Thank you.
Did any of this I'm sorry, was there something else? Did I catch you
investigation
off?
officers or personnel, however you want to classify them?
Did you have any information given to you from any other law enforcement entities regarding this fire?
No,
And I know earlier you testified that dispatch contacted you the night of the fire, but that was just to let you know that the fire was occurring, correct?
as far as I can remember, I think I don't even remember who the dispatcher was, but it was a female, and I think she just said the courthouse is on fire, or words to that effect.
Have you had an opportunity to review this article from the Texas Association of Counties?
Yes,
And in the article, I want to direct your attention. I don't know if you happen to have a copy of it there in front of you, and if you don't, I apologize.
I do.
But I'm looking at what is the bottom of page 3. There's a paragraph there, and I'll just read it in for clarity, but it starts, the 452nd District Court Judge Rob Hoffman, who serves Mason County and 4 others, also becomes emotional talking about the fire. Fire investigators determined the fire began in his office. Because the suspect in the case was set to have a hearing in his court the following day, and a home of one of the suspect's relatives was also on fire that night, Hoffman had suspicions about who was responsible for the fire right away. He also knew he had to be on alert for his and his family's safety. Judge, my question on this is, did you at any time report to anyone your initial suspicions of who may be responsible for the fire?
Yes.
Who did you report them to?
I believe, of course, it's difficult for me to remember because we're talking about a long time ago.
Sure.
I think at some point when I understood that the suspect's relative's home was on fire, as well as the courthouse, and then thinking through things, I guess, with the emotion of the event, while I was driving down to the courthouse square, I kind of had suspicions, as I've indicated in the article.
And who did you relay that to? What your suspicions were?
At some point that evening, and I'm not sure exactly when, I called the Texas Ranger Joel Timms, and I figured he was aware of the fire. I don't remember if he was or not, but I told him what my concerns were and thoughts were.
Do you have any idea if that phone call would have been recorded?
I don't know. I did not.
I understand. Thank you. Did you have any follow-up conversations with Ranger Joel Timms regarding this event?
I do not remember, not to my knowledge.
And did you provide to anyone copies of dockets, or court settings on any cases that Mr. Miller may have had pending in your court?
No, as I've stated already, either that night or sometime during the next 24 hours, I contacted Judge Abels to indicate to him that I would have to recuse myself from the case under the circumstances, and I have not had any interaction with any case file or any document subsequent to that. I believe even the recusals were signed by the court coordinator and not myself.
And my question, and I'm not suggesting that you did anything on any of the cases. My question more is specifically on this comment in it. And again, it's not a direct quote to you, but it's in this paragraph. Because the suspect in the case was set to have a hearing in his court the following day, and a home of one of the suspect's relatives was also on fire that night, Hoffman had suspicion, and it goes on. But not on pending cases that are going on or these cases, but during any of this time after the fire, did you ever, in your discussion with Ranger Timms, anyone else with law enforcement, tell them specifically that Mr. Miller had a court date set for the next calendar date in your court, if you recall?
I do not believe that I had a discussion with any law enforcement officer subsequent to my discussion with Ranger Timms. And I do not remember if I told Ranger Timms at the time of the phone call I had with him on the night of the event, whether the suspect was set for court in my court the next day or not. I don't remember. Now, of course, we had court the next day and his case was on the docket, but I think we just understood that he wasn't there and didn't hear the case. But as far as law enforcement officers, I do not remember that I had a discussion with any law enforcement officer at all, except for, as I've said, Ranger Timms.
Do you recall whether or not you realized that Mr. Miller had a court date the day after the fire when you were presiding over that docket? Or do you know if you independently recalled that the night of the fire?
Oh, I independently recalled it the night of the fire. Well, let me make sure. I believe that's correct. No,
No, hold on. Okay, I didn't say the jury would read it, like not like the jury. I was talking about when I put up the pictures of the streets lined up with literally the entire population of the town sitting in their lawn chairs, watching them crown the courthouse with the little bubble that they put on top. Like those people in that town, like I was saying, like that's the jury. To think that they're not reading the local articles and talking about the local things that are going on. I mean, it's not like a college town or a big town where there's like, you know, like a small percentage of the population of like older people that are really into the local stuff. I mean, this is a Texas town. Like everybody's into the local stuff. So everybody's going to read it. But the thing is I don't think what they're talking about, they're not direct quotes from the article necessarily. No, yeah, you're fine. I probably did not explain it very well. But like, because I was saying at first, I didn't know how much it would matter. Like, oh, who cares? It was like a little online magazine publication thing. But then I saw the pictures of everybody lined up on the streets, and I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I'll show you his arrest thing in a few minutes. Just hang on. Let me get past this witness.
I'm pretty sure that I remembered that evening when things were going through my head that he had a hearing in our court the next day.
And I know that I'm not trying to just beat a dead horse. I just need clarity, so I apologize. But they in this TAC article on the next page, at the top of page 4, there is a quote that is attributed to you. It says, it ellipses made me have a great concern that our court was being targeted and perhaps me personally. If you recall, did you express that sentiment to Ranger Timms when you contacted him the night of the fire?
I don't recall that I expressed that sentiment to him. I think things were working so fast. I don't remember that. No, I it was kind of linear. Things were popping into my head, and I think it came one at a time because if I do not believe I expressed that to him, but honestly, I just can't remember for sure.
I understand. Thank you. And would you agree with me that you are not a litigant to any of these causes that are pending in the 452nd against Mr. Miller? And the cause numbers again are 214-845, 214-846, 214-847, 214-844, and 214-849.
I am not a litigant in those causes.
And when did someone, if someone did, contact you from the Texas Association Texas Association of Counties? When did anyone contact you regarding a possible article?
I'm going to say that was probably 6 weeks to 2 months ago.
And in your well, that's assuming, did you have any conversations with Julie Chang, the author of this article?
Yes.
And in your conversations with Ms. Chang, did it ever come up that that these cases were still pending?
I don't know if that was specifically brought up or not. And I'm going to say that, yes, Ms. Chang, you're correct.
Did you request Ms. Chang delay publishing this article until after the trials and those causes that we previously mentioned were over?
No.
I'll pass the witness.
Judge Hoffman, just a couple of questions. When you got to the square that night, how long did it take you to get there from your home?
Probably about 5 minutes or less.
And when you arrived at the courthouse square, was the courthouse fully engulfed?
Yes, after the dispatcher called me, as I said, I walked out into the street with my family to observe the fire, and I made the determination that at that point I was not going to go to the square, and so I arrived fairly late to the scene.
Okay. And when you arrived at the scene, about how many people would you estimate, or could you tell us how many people and where those people were in relation to the fire?
I would say there were hundreds of people at the fire by the time I went, because I had not planned on going initially. Of course, there were multiple firefighters fighting the fire, and there were just folks observing everywhere,
Okay.
as far as I could tell, encircling the square. And then, of course, there were law enforcement folks managing traffic and, just what you would expect. But I would say well over a couple of hundred folks.
And for purposes of the record, Judge, could you describe how the courthouse square is laid out in Mason compared to other courthouses and how the traffic flow works around that courthouse?
Well, it's a 2-block square. I do know that's how we define it, which means it's, instead of being 1 block surrounded by buildings, it's the square courthouse yard includes 2 blocks. So on the north and south side, there are 2 blocks worth of the city facing the courthouse yard, and on the east and west side, there is 1 block facing each side. So it's probably a couple of acres, this actual yard for the square, and there are businesses surrounding the square. It's a wide street and a big yard with a small courthouse.
And is the yard of the courthouse contained by a rock wall?
Yes.
And were the people that you described inside the rock wall or outside the rock wall?
Well, there were, I don't think anybody was inside the rock wall, because the firefighters, to the best of my recollection, were outside of the rock wall, but in the street. And then there were no persons that were just casual observers, even in the street. I think they were all beyond the street on the sidewalks away from the fire.
And in regard to the reporter that contacted you about the story, did she indicate anything about whose idea it was to write the article?
She certainly did not know. Or not to my knowledge, or not to my recollection, I'm sorry.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
I have no further questions for Judge Hoffman, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge Hoffman.
May I, are you going to address the subpoenas for next week at some point, Judge Emerson?
I will after this hearing, yes.
Okay, so I'll stick around. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses?
I think you're on mute, Oliver.
I am, and my mouse was frozen. Sorry. We would call Judge Harden.
Judge Harden, please raise your right hand. In the matter
I know
before
some
the
people
court,
who
do you
will be
swear to
very
tell the
into
truth,
that.
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You.
Thank you. May proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Judge Harden.
Morning.
Could you state for the record your name, please, first of all?
Yes, my name is Krita Cherie Harden. I go
Yeah.
by my middle name Cherie.
And how are you employed, ma'am?
I am the current Mason County judge
I love it.
How long have you been the Mason County judge?
since January 1st, 2023.
And how were you employed before that? Do you recall, if you recall?
Yes, sir. I became an employee of Mason County May 1st, 2017 as the administrative assistant to then County Judge Jerry Bearden.
And do you recall
Was a
speaking
courthouse.
with, or did you ever speak with a Julie Chang regarding an article in the Texas Association of Counties?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall when that was?
Not the exact date, but 6 weeks to 2 months ago in reference to this particular article.
Okay. And were you aware when this article was going to be published?
No, not the exact timing. No.
Did you know about when?
Yes, I had an indication that it would be published in the fall publication.
Okay. And just sir, for clarification, because I don't know either, are you a member of the Texas Association of Counties, or is your office?
Mason County is a member, yes.
Okay. And can you explain to me how that works? As you're the county judge, are y'all under contract with the Texas Association of Counties? What does that mean that it's a member? Mason County is a member.
We pay dues to be a part of the association.
Okay.
Small
Now,
town.
have you read the article that we're speaking about today?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. And after reading it, are you aware of some quotes in there regarding the cost of the rebuilding of the courthouse and where the funding came from, et cetera?
Yes, sir.
Did you give that information to Miss Chang, or did she get that from somewhere else? Do you know?
I may have given her information in generalities of how the courthouse project is being funded. Yes.
Okay. And are you aware if any of that information was provided to the district attorney's office or to law enforcement as part of the investigation in these Mr. Miller's cases?
I am unaware.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna pause it again.
Did you
People
personally
are
give
gonna
any
hate
of
me.
that
I know.
information to the
God, I'm
district
so
attorney?
bad at knowing the right time to pause, when to shut up. Okay, so I finally found the actual article I was looking at yesterday. and it was this. And get out of here, people in court. Get off the screen. Okay. So it was actually a really, really interesting article, and I will link it in the description before I forget. But all of these people that are testifying, they have quotes in here, obviously. And some of the things are important are, you know, they're talking about funding and who's donating, and they're going to need to get those things like for like the jury questionnaire. You know, I remember one of the cool things was like, okay, should I read some of it? Maybe no, nobody wants to hear that. Okay, so like this part I thought was interesting. Like, good can always come from bad, said Hardin, who was sworn in as county judge in January and expects to finally occupy the judge's bench in the courthouse by the end of the year. Being able to turn that corner, being able to live in that victory, moving forward is very exciting. And one thing that the fire did was they thought like these original old mosaic floors were like lost like a long time ago. They totally thought they were ripped up, but they weren't. So like, you know how when you have like a historical building, you can't change things. Like there's certain things you just like can't change. You'd have to have like a vote and everything else. Well, they couldn't rip up the old floors just to see if another old floor was under it. But you know, I mean, it was cool. Like, and then a little bit lower, recoveries cost $20 million. $20 million. You know, special funding from legislature, Texas Historical Commission that grants donations, like generous donations, like from the public. I can't. And then there's more about Judge Bearden, who, I mean, he can't even hold back tears, you know, in public when he's talking about all of this. When that office caught on fire, so that's kind of a direct quote. When that office caught on fire, I was standing right over there. I absolutely went to my knees. I just couldn't believe this was happening. You know, and I mean, it burnt fast. You guys saw the pictures. So you want me to pause? Let me pause with the trial for a minute, and let me just show you this doofus, his arrest. He streamed his arrest. Hold on. Let me drag it over here. Or live. What did I call it? What did I call it? Okay, I'm gonna play it. And then I'm gonna while I pull it up because I can't do anything that smoothly. You all know that.
Attorney's office.
No, not to the district attorney's office, no.
Okay. Or to law enforcement in Mason County.
No.
Okay. Are you aware of, well, you said you've read the article. Would you agree that there are a couple of quotes in there that state where the fire allegedly originated?
Yes.
Did you give those quotes to Miss Chang?
I did not.
Okay. Do you have personal knowledge of where the fire originated?
I do not.
Okay. Have you been shown the state fire marshal's report on the burning of the courthouse?
No, sir, I have not.
Okay. Is your office in possession of the restoration plans of the courthouse?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know if those have been given to the district attorney's office for discovery purposes?
I am unaware if they've been given to the district attorney's office.
Okay.
Careful with your
In this
testimony.
article, it mentions that
I know what
it
it
states
is.
that
I'm an idiot.
the to restore the courthouse, they did not have to dip into the county's coffers, but that it
Okay,
came from
here we go.
state and then also some private individuals. Do you recall that in the
Screw it.
article?
Let's just do this.
Fucking correspondence, Mark
Wait.
Zuckerberg.
Hold on. Okay, here we go. Is it showing the guy? Let me find StreamYard under all this nonsense. StreamYard. Where are you guys? There you are. There you are. Okay, so this is dude, and he decides that he is going to stream his arrest because why not? Why not? Here we go.
Fucking correspondence, Mark Zuckerberg. Fucking correspondence, Mark Zuckerberg.
Come on. There we go. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm an idiot. Y'all, this is not, y'all. I'm so sorry. I edited one and I didn't edit another one. And that's the one I edited. I'm a disaster. I am a disaster. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I
do, yes, sir.
terrible at this.
And do you know,
Give me a
does the
minute.
county keep a list of who these private individuals are who donated money for the recovery funds?
No, sir, the county does not keep a record of that. There was a group formed locally who collected donations on behalf of the courthouse rebuild project, and they are the keeper of that information.
Okay. And then as county judge, do you sit in on the commissioners meetings, county commissioners?
I do.
Okay. And you recall in here there's a well, and you may not have been the county judge at this time, but it says that shortly after the fire there was a meeting with the commissioners and the Texas Association of Counties. Do you recall that?
I do not.
Okay. Were you at such a meeting?
I do not recall.
Okay. Yeah, it says it's about a week after the fire. So at that time, you would not have been the county judge. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. And just for the record, I do practice in your court sometimes. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I have in the past, and I have future court dates scheduled in your court as well. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Judge Harden, can you tell us how you learned about the article that was going to be published?
How I learned about the article that was going to be published. I was contacted by Miss Julie Chang and asked if she could come to Mason to do a follow-up article on the courthouse.
Okay. And do you know about when that happened?
I'm guessing about 2 months ago. I don't know
Okay.
a specific date.
And you said it was a follow-up article. So what was the previous article that was published?
Well, I can't direct you to any particular article. TAC has been documenting the progress of the courthouse restoration. And I know that this is not the first time that they have been in Mason County collecting information for articles.
Okay. And who else did TAC interview or contact that you have personal knowledge of about the article?
In this particular case, I know that they were reaching out to Judge Rob Hoffman as well as former or retired treasurer Polly McMillan.
Okay. And did the reporter have an outline or a number of people that she wanted to contact when you met with her, or did you provide that information to her?
The only two people that I was under The only two people I thought she would be contacting was Judge Hoffman and Polly McMillan.
And did she come to Mason to interview you for the article?
Yes.
And there are some pictures contained in the article. Did she take some of those pictures?
The only picture that I can verify, its origination is the picture on page 26 of the actual publication. And that's a picture of me. And she did not take that picture. I do
Okay.
not know the origin of the other pictures.
All right. Do you know where she got the picture that shows that the courthouse was burning? Where the picture that appears in the article, embedded in the article, where it shows the courthouse was burning, that says credit Mason County?
I do not know where she specifically received that picture, no.
Okay. And were you able to preview the article before it was published?
I was.
And did she indicate what date it would be published?
It was my understanding that she wanted it to be in the fall publication.
So would this be the fall publication that the article came out in, Judge?
It sure is.
I would assume, but I am honestly not aware of their publication cycle.
And in regard to the publication, the publication is from the Texas Association of Counties, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And who receives that publication?
To my knowledge, the members of the association and others who request
Okay.
a copy.
All right, I got it, guys. Ready? Is it showing a different video? Let me find you guys again. I need a second screen. Maybe, maybe not. Where are you? There you are. There you are. Okay.
Facebook, you could have stopped this too a long time ago. You recognize that correspondence, Mark Zuckerberg, you punk bitch. Yeah, all that mother correspondence and messenger. You recognize that shit. Hang yourself, Mark, punk bitch. You got all this shit in sync for it. Can't fucking do nothing about it. Can't protect no motherfucking body. You ain't doing shit, you punk bitch. God damn, choppers.
Like, I don't know why he's mad at Mark Zuckerberg, but I'm guessing he probably got into some kind of fight on Facebook. And I did cut out the bad language because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. He's not a sovereign Cid, I don't think. Did he say something to that effect? Hold on, let me go back. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now I'm paying attention now that I'm done looking. I'm gonna shut up. Why is this? I didn't edit it, like, well. Sorry.
Facebook, you could have stopped this shit too a long time ago. You recognize that correspondence, Mark Zuckerberg, you punk bitch. Yeah, all that mother correspondence and messenger. You recognize that shit. Hang yourself, Mark, punk bitch. You got all this shit in sync for it. Can't fucking do nothing about it. Can't protect no motherfucking body. You ain't doing shit, you punk bitch. God damn, choppers. Choppers. And look, well, how this is going to end, but I guarantee it. We'll see if I pull over with my hands high. See what happens there.
They showed up. I don't know how long the chase was, but
Does it tell me my kids are all right? That means I gotta drop my hands. Y'all understand that, right? That means I gotta drop my hands. Got you. Hey, but wait.
It's dangerous. Yeah. He's been in jail.
I got a gun. Can I shut them? Forward. I got a gun. I got a gun. I'm not going to. I'm ducking under.
A Ford F-350 dually and somewhere in the Williamson County area, and they attempted to conduct a traffic stop on that vehicle. We jumped into this whole incident with the vehicle evaded arrest from Georgetown Police Department, and we jumped in around the 270, which is in Durham. And then the suspect continued northbound on 35 from the 270 until he was apprehended at the 328 just south of Waco at 11:04.
I guess he was acting alone, correct?
What's that?
He was acting alone?
Yes, single occupant, single vehicle, just one person evading, and we charged him with evading.
So you said suspect, he was a suspect of what? What was he fleeing?
What was he fleeing?
Yeah.
All that, the details into why he chose not to stop, and all those will be released at a later time. They won't be released right now.
So he didn't have anything to do with the courthouse fire, courthouse burn down that they were talking about earlier today?
All that will be released at a later time until his ties into that or anything else. Also, the suspect vehicle was spiked multiple times by different counties between here and Durham.
Is the spikes what made him stop? What initially made him stop?
He just stopped on his own free will. He stopped, placed his hands up, and exited the vehicle. We took him into custody with fires.
So he didn't try to run or anything?
No, he did not.
Pretty much surrendered. You know what kind of car it was?
What was that?
What kind of car it was?
It was a Ford F-350 dually.
And we heard shots were fired.
You heard shots were fired?
Over the radio, is that true?
I can't confirm that yet, but from who?
We heard over the police scanner shots fired.
I'll look into that. And if so, I'll brief you on that a little bit later.
About how many agencies in total did you say were involved in this?
Georgetown Police Department, Bell County Sheriff's Office, and DPS. Right now, that's what I know. I'm not sure where McLennan County came in, or if they came in or not. But I know those were the main agencies that helped.
You know how long the standstill was on I-35?
When you say standstill, what do you mean?
I mean like the traffic started.
We attempted to stop the vehicle around 11:40, like I was saying. So we stopped traffic just in case something were to happen. That way, nobody, innocent bystanders would get hurt in case it took a different course. So it was just a public safety concern. We just decided to stop northbound and southbound traffic. And then once we put the person in custody, we opened the lanes up and let traffic flow smoothly.
Were any law enforcement officials hurt? We know a lot of them had issues with their tires because of the spikes.
No injuries.
No injuries.
No injuries, no weapons, correct?
What's that?
No injuries and no weapons, correct? The suspect didn't have any weapons or anything like that?
Inventory items for that vehicle will be, put out at a later time. So that's still under investigation. Any other questions?
No.
I can't hear you.
Did the suspect hit anybody during the chase?
No crashes, no secondary crashes due to this or anything like that, from my knowledge.
Are you guys comfortable releasing his name? Other agencies have mentioned his name, we know it.
Okay, that's, if other agencies choose to do that, they'll choose to do that. Right now, we're not putting that out. We'll put that out at a later time.
And for the record, how you spell your first and last name?
Ryan Howard, RyanHoward.
I don't know. I just
Hi, Mr. Ricker, you understand you're here
sorry,
on a
that's not supposed to
trespassing
happen.
charge?
Hold
Yes.
on. Hold
Okay, I
on.
set the matter, I reviewed it for PC and set the
Where's
matter at
that?
$250
Where's that window?
cash.
Come here. Come here.
Anybody
Oh,
want to add
thank
anything
you
onto
for
that?
being so nice.
And is the publication online?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it also in print?
I've not received a printed copy, but I have received the electronic copy of this publication, yes.
And to your knowledge, does the electronic copy go to, as you stated, the membership, county employees, that kind of thing?
So, like, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that exciting of a police chase or whatever. I mean, I don't think chases are that exciting anyway, like maybe like the last minute or two. But I think it's interesting the people's personalities that they reveal. Like, he definitely knew. He definitely knows. Like, he's not getting out of this, but just the, like, look at the time and the resources. I'm not even counting the reparations that they had to do, but just the time and the resources that these people, look how many freaking judges are in here right now. I would love to know, like, how much total money is going to be spent on this when it's all said and
I
done.
would assume that it does.
And Judge, we have briefly met about this part of the case that Mr. Neal referenced on the cost for rebuilding the courthouse. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you referred the district attorney's office to Dave Stotch. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And do you know about how many tours have been conducted
Say
of the
what?
courthouse in regard to media access, that kind of thing?
I
What?
could not give.
What? Oh, money. God, sorry.
Even a range of how many. Not every courthouse tour goes through this office's authority, so I cannot answer that question definitively, no.
Okay. Have you taken any people on a tour of the courthouse rebuild?
Not on my own. I've always had permission from the project superintendent, but yes, I have been on tours with others.
And did some of those tours include members from the Texas Association of County that were helping with funding and the rebuild of the courthouse?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever participated in a tour given to law enforcement?
No,
A tour given to the state fire marshal's office?
no,
Or a tour given to the district attorney's office?
no, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Definitely millions. Millions of
Just a
dollars
couple
for
of
this guy.
follow-up questions, if I may.
Good.
Thank you.
Is he even
Judge
awake
Harden,
down there?
you mentioned earlier an organization of people who collected funds and keep track of who donates, etc. Do you know what that organization's name is?
It's the Mason County Friends of the Courthouse.
And do you know any of the people who are a member of that group?
Yes,
Just off the top of your head, could you tell us who those people are? And I understand you may not know the entire list, but just who you know.
sure. Curtis Donaldson, Randy Cruzy, Connie Stockbridge, Chris Hicks, Homer Sanchez, Bobby McMillan, Those are the members who come to mind immediately.
Okay, thank you. As county judge, does your office or do you have access to documentation regarding the budget for the restoration of the courthouse?
I have access to it. Yes, I'm not keeper of it.
Okay. And in those documentation, is there a line item budget of where the money is coming from?
Yes, we have a special budget in our county budget, specifically for the courthouse rebuild project.
Okay, and within that budget, does it go into detail on it? Who donates what money, as in certain individuals?
No, sir.
Okay. And then regarding the Texas Association of Counties publication, you mentioned that there was an online version, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And does one have to be have you viewed that online version?
I have.
Does one have to be a member of the Texas Association of Counties to access that publication?
I am unaware of that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you have to put in a password to access the article?
I did not have to
Okay.
put the password, no.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Just a couple of brief follow-ups. The special budget, Judge, that you mentioned is part of the courthouse rebuild. Is that budget available online for the public to view?
Our Mason County budget is online, yes.
Okay, and that special budget is contained within the county's budget?
That is correct.
Did I
And
speed it up?
when donations are made to the county from the Friends of the Courthouse,
But I need
does
to
the
know
county commissioners court accept those donations at an official meeting of the county commissioners court?
Yes.
Tell me that's not better.
And are those minutes available online as well?
Our minutes are available online, yes.
And those are all public records, is that right, Judge?
Yes.
And in regard to Mr. Stotch, would you briefly tell us what his role is in the courthouse rebuild?
Sure. Mr. David Stout is head of CPM Texas, and he was hired to be our project manager. He is the agent representing Mason County in the courthouse rebuild project.
And so in that effort, is he the person that oversees the funds and the funds that are coming in and reports to you or the commissioner's court and the Friends of the Courthouse about how the project is progressing financially?
Yes, he is the one person who has a firm understanding of the funding from the Friends of the Courthouse, from Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool, which is our insurance, the Texas Historical Commission.
Thank you, Judge. I have no further questions.
Nothing further for Judge Harden, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge Harden. Additional witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would call Judge Bearden.
Judge Bearden, please raise your right hand.
This guy had a lot of quotes
In
in
the
the
matter before the
article.
court, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Jerry Bearden.
And Judge Bearden, how well are you currently employed?
No, I'm not. I'm currently ranching for a living now.
All right. And before, well, are you retired?
That's correct. I retired after serving 20 years as county judge in Mason County.
Okay.
Really?
And at the time,
Let's do a
at the
vote.
time of this fire, were you Mason County judge?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall speaking to a Julie Chang for an article that has been published in the Texas Association of Counties?
You're talking about this recent article?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, I did not speak to her.
Okay. Have you seen the article that we're speaking about today?
Yes, I received a copy of it yesterday.
Okay, let me see.
And are you aware that there are quotes from you in that article?
I am.
Okay. And are you saying that you did not give her those quotes?
Excuse me, what is your question?
Are you saying that you did not give her those quotes?
No, I did not say that. She got those quotes from previous interviews.
Okay.
Forget how
But
to do a
not for
poll.
this article. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. The article states that the county judges met with the
Oh,
commissioners.
I have to online.
I believe it says a week after the fire. Do you recall
There
that
it is.
meeting?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
poll.
And are you aware of who took who's in charge of keeping track of the funding for the county attorney or for the county judge's office?
The Treasurer's Department.
Okay. And who is the head of the treasurer's department?
Well, at that time, Polly McMillan was our elected treasurer.
Okay. Is she still the elected treasurer?
No, Ms. McMillan retired the same time I did.
Okay. And you have seen the article. Are you aware that there are quotes in there pertaining to the origination of the fire in the courthouse?
Yes, I am.
And do you know who gave those quotes regarding the origination of the fire in the courthouse?
You are talking about the part where I was quoted where when you back up, and would you like for me to give you some history on those quotes?
Sure, absolutely, please.
Okay. Around 10 p.m. the night of February the 4th, 2021, I received a call from dispatch office concerning a fire at a residence. At that time, I was serving as emergency management coordinator for Mason County, so I often responded to fires. And when I did this, I was getting dressed to come to town, and the dispatch called me again and said that the courthouse was on fire. There were flames coming out of the second-story window up in the district judge's office area. So I live about 4 miles from the courthouse. By the time I got here, the roof was engulfed in flames, and so was the cupola. And as I went around to the south side of the courthouse, I could see the flames coming out of this area here. So I assumed that the fire was upstairs, because at this time there were no flames coming out of the offices below the district judge or adult probation offices.
Okay. The article states that fire investigators determined the fire began in Judge Hoffman's office. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of what they quoted, yes, but as far as my concerns are, I had no idea where it started.
Okay. And my question then is,
Okay, so I started a poll. Should we move on to a juicier case if this is boring? Like, yes, please, this is the worst. No, you want to finish it. Or, yeah, you'd be cool to move on to a different case, but you might want to see the rest of this one eventually someday. Because you don't want to just be like left hanging and not know what's happened. I'll give it a minute. Definitely vote. Definitely vote.
are you the one, or did you give that quote to Ms. Chang for this article?
Yes.
Okay. It also says that just 12 hours before the fire that you had received restoration plans for the courthouse in the mail. Do you recall that?
Yes, it's not exactly correct in that quote, because we were working with our architects at that time and the historical commission, and we were in our office over in the annex, and the FedEx truck drove up and delivered that afternoon the 100% completion plans for the restoration project of the Mason County Courthouse, which we had been working on for years.
Okay. And do you know if since then a copy of those plans have been handed over to law enforcement?
I have no knowledge of that.
Do you know if they have been handed over to the district attorney's office?
I have no knowledge of that either.
Okay. And then it does quote you in here as saying that nobody was hurt that night. Is that correct?
That's correct. I was there the whole time, really 48, 50 hours. And
7 votes
we were
only.
very
Lazy. Come on, y'all.
careful in making sure that falling debris, tree limbs, things of this nature, no one was damaged or hurt by any of these incidents. And as far as I know of, no one was hurt.
Okay. And then do you recall, are you aware of this Mason County Friends of Courthouse group?
Yes, I am.
And do you know of any members other than those who Judge Hardin named who are part of that group?
The only one, all of those members, is Judge Hardin named correct, except I believe Lee McMillan was also a member of that group.
Okay. And do you recall, you said these quotes from you were taken earlier. Do you recall about when they got these quotes from you?
As Judge Hardin said, the Texas Association of Counties has had an ongoing program, you might say, of keeping up with the restoration and rebuilding of the courthouse. And there were several times that I was interviewed by Miss Chin and her assistants. We were interviewed, Judge Harden and I were interviewed several times along with other people. So it was an ongoing process.
Okay.
And as far as a time or a date that this quote could have been taken, it's anywhere in the 2-year process until the
I have
time
an
I retired.
idea.
After I retired, I did attend a meeting in Round Rock, sponsored by the risk management group, to give a conversation and an update on the courthouse.
Thank you, sir. No further questions, Your Honor.
Judge Bearden, I have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you arrived at the courthouse fire, about how many people would you say were observing the fire from the area that Judge Hoffman described around the courthouse square?
But when I got here, there weren't that many people. In fact, when I came into town, I was able to park on the north side of the courthouse. And at that time, some of our local fire departments were still involved in fighting the fire on the residents over here on the northeast side of town. But we had also issued calls to other volunteer fire departments, and we were arranging trucks in different areas to apply water to
I have
the
an
courthouse.
idea.
And to
It's
also work
novel.
with law enforcement to
Let me
work with
pause
traffic
this.
coming around the courthouse square,
Okay.
to divert traffic and to keep people out of their way. At this time, people started arriving, more fire departments. We had
Oh,
multiple
why
departments
can't I
from,
pause the video on the screen?
Mason.
Okay, I have an idea. It's a little novel. I thought this was super interesting the first time I watched it. I was totally into it. I watched the whole thing. I listened to it. I was fascinated, but sometimes I enjoy boring court that most people would probably find more boring, because let's be honest, some of you do. Let me see what the poll says. Okay, 8% of you are admitting that this is the worst. Some of you are like, yeah, we can move on to something that's more fun, but I do want to see the rest of it someday. So I got a message a little bit ago that said there was another channel a little bit ago that went live with this same case called Meg's Crime Watch. So she's live doing this case right now, and it is super interesting. So right up your alley of staying focused. And the poll. Yeah, right. So I'm if you guys want to see the rest of it, maybe check her out. I'm sure you guys already do. Like, that's silly, but I feel like I'm losing a lot of you guys right now. So and I can finish it at the end if you guys really want me to, but I'm pretty sure somebody said that she was doing the exact, they sent me a message and said she's doing a video on the same thing that you're doing right now. So why don't we just do something different? Okay, here we go. Hold on. And this is a little bit more Saturday. It's family. And okay, the only reason I'm doing this, if I was going to leave you guys hanging and you weren't going to be able to finish the case, I totally wouldn't switch the case on you. But it's Saturday. Most of you guys are bored. And I can appreciate that. So let's watch these guys. Yeah, here we go. I didn't know, yeah, okay, let's go. And she's good. She's probably gotten like more like organized.
Good morning, everyone. We are live on the record in your case. It is cause number 23 FD 0695. This is an original petition.
This is a good
affecting
one.
the parent-child
This is a good
relationship with
one.
an acknowledgement of paternity, with 2 acknowledgements of paternity. And this legal action was filed April 10th of 2023 by the Attorney General's office. Mr. Applin, can you please unmute yourself and state your full name for the record? Sir, if you click on the screen, you're going to see icons appear. There's one that's a microphone.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Kendall Shaquille Applin. And what else you needed me to say for the record?
Just your full name, sir, at this time. Ms. Thomas, can you please unmute yourself and state your full name for the record?
Thanks.
And ma'am, if you click on your screen, you'll see icons, and there should be a microphone, an old-fashioned looking microphone with a slash through it.
Got it, baby.
Sade Thomas.
Okay, can you both please raise your right hands? Do you each solemnly swear that any testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may lower your hands, and counsel for the Attorney
Oh
General's office, please
shoot!
state your name for the
Thank
record.
you, thank you. Yeah, I don't need to. This doesn't not need to be
This
on
is a remote
1.5
proceeding, and all
speed.
parties are on
Okay,
Zoom this morning.
there. Thank
I
you.
am sitting outside
Thank
of
you.
Galveston County pursuant to the Texas Family Code, section 201.1045.
Not
And
anymore.
I
I
find that no
slowed it.
parties
I
have
slowed
filed
it.
any written objections to proceeding in this manner.
Slowed it down.
I'm hereby giving you notice that unless you've waived the right, either in writing or on the record, you do have the right to have a de novo hearing before the referring court regarding any decision made by me that you don't like. I'm also letting you know some housekeeping rules. Even though we're on computers, we do treat this just like court. So that includes speaking in civil tones one another, treating each other with respect. We do typically take testimony in court. So one of you will be asked questions at a time by the Assistant Attorney General. If you're not the person being asked questions, unless you have a legal objection, please don't answer or interrupt the other party. You'll both be given a chance to be asked questions by the Assistant Attorney General. And since it appears you're both representing yourself today, you'll both be given a chance to speak as well. So just wait till it's your turn to speak. And then lastly, I'm not with the Attorney General's office, but I know you've had this case for some time and you've told them lots of things. You might have given them information. They don't get to share that with me. All I know about your case is what's in the court file and what comes out during hearings before me. So if there's something important that you said, you might be embarrassed by it or not want to say it, the Attorney General's office can't tell me about it. So it's real important, if it's important to the case, that you say it during the hearing. Otherwise, I will not know about it. And so, Mr. DeHermeja, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state would like the court to take judicial notice of the original petition and suit affecting the parent-child relationship that was filed April 10, 2023 in acknowledgement of paternity attached thereto.
I take judicial notice of
Am I allowed to ask a quick question, please?
One moment, sir, don't interrupt me, and then I'll give you a chance. I'm not sure we can answer it because at this point, we're having a hearing, but give me one moment. I am looking at the pleading as requested. I take give me one moment. I take judicial notice of the pleading, and I do see the two acknowledgements of paternity, one for Kirsten and one for Kenslin. Does anyone have any concerns about the acknowledgements of paternity?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, so I take judicial notice of the pleading and the attachments. Mr. Applin, was there something you wanted to say before we begin?
Yeah, I'm the one who originally filed this child support thingy out of Brazoria County, so I don't understand why. I have never been to court for it. Also, I don't understand why it says she filed, because I'm thinking this is
sir,
the one that I've
all
been
of that, what's before me right now is a pleading. Who applied with the AG's office is really not relevant to in this case. Regardless of who applied with the AG's office, they filed a pleading. They're asking for it to be heard. Are you all contesting who has the child even, or who's going to be primary of the child?
I have my own children and I've been primary of my children.
Okay, so are you requesting that you be the primary conservator and that the children primarily live with you? Is that what you were saying?
Yes, sir. They've been with me, ma'am. I'm under oath. I don't have to lie. They've been living back and forth with me and my mother since 2015, man.
Okay, well, we'll see where we can get to today. This case might be referred to the district court, but we'll just see where it goes today. I don't know about your case. Again, you heard me say that.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not the time to negotiate. That time has passed. If custody is an issue, have either of you consulted lawyers or are you wanting to? I think this is the first time you're both in court addressing this issue.
No, it's not, because he was already paying child support on up until 2019.
Did you have
and I was off child support because she was incarcerated and I had my children.
Okay, are you saying there's a court order for Kenslin and Kirsten already?
It's not a court order.
Okay, you don't think it's court, ma'am? Do you think there's a court order?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what county that court order was out of?
It was in Galveston.
Do you have a copy of it?
All I know is when I pull up the OAG type thing and the login, it just shows payments, but it never showed it says that I was custodial and he was non-custodial.
I'm not asking that.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to figure out if there's a case, ma'am.
Hmm.
We're not trying to advocate as we get into logistics.
Well, I'm not a judge or lawyer to understand what you're saying.
I'm trying to logistically figure out if we're even in the proper pleading. I'm not trying to get information from you if you should have the children. We're not advocating right now
Judge
for ourselves.
Baker.
We're just discussing logistics because I'm not going to have a hearing to do a first order if there's already a prior order.
Judge Baker is, I feel like she's usually pretty calm, but like today or yesterday or whatever day it was a couple days ago, dude, she was not having it like from the jump. And I honestly, with these two right here, I can't blame her.
So that's what I'm trying to work on right now. Like, I don't want to hear you say you're a better parent than him. Nothing like that right now. We're not discussing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, I'm just saying I've never paid child support. He does. So whatever.
Okay. I don't care. We're going to get to that if I find the order. Right now, I'm trying to figure out, is there a court order that existed?
It's not a court order, man.
This nigga still talking. Don't fall.
And Mr. Jahameja, have you already looked into this?
Your Honor, I'm looking at it right now, and it's the cause number is 17FD0231.
I'm sorry, what was that?
17FD0231. And
0251 or 0? I'm sorry.
17FD0231. And the case.
He wouldn't pass a lot of dress codes in court. I actually found a really funny clip the other day, and I'm not talking over anything important right now, but of a judge literally saying, like, next time you come, do not show up in a wife beater.
Case was dismissed.
I didn't know judges
Was
could
it a
actually
temporary
say that
order
word.
that she was getting support for that got dismissed?
It looks
It's
like
pretty
it,
funny.
Your Honor.
It's like 2 seconds
I'm
long,
sorry
though.
about
I'm going to give you a moment to figure it out, and then you'll tell me what happened.
It's really cold in here. I need to.
That was the order from.
Yes, Your Honor.
I know
Sorry for the delay.
One moment.
Not having it.
Sure. The baby. And he don't know. I said this.
Your Honor, may I proceed?
One moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss is the case in Brazil.
Should be talking over to the side.
Kirsten, do not fall. Get off of that.
Ma'am, you're in court.
Okay, my daughter was about to fall.
Okay.
Not smart.
And your children shouldn't be in the room during this hearing. A lot of things are likely to be said that children should not hear.
My child is sick.
Okay, maybe we need to reset then so we can have your full attention. I'm not trying to be difficult, ma'am, but.
Yeah, Miss Ma'am, look.
Keller, ma'am.
She's out of the room.
Okay, and again, if you're distracted and she truly is sick, we can reset it so that you can give your daughter your full attention, and then we can reset this to a date that you're available, because this is some really important issues that are being heard today if we get to that point, and I want to be sure both of you are fully engaged. You're disputing where your child's going to live. That's a really big deal, so I want to be sure you have the attention to give it, and I understand children sometimes need attention.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That was a good one. She is snarky, but dealing with the cases that she's dealing with all day. What? Where have you been? Hi. Hi.
Okay, you may proceed, Mr. DeHamasia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. So in Galveston, under the 17 FD 0231, temporary order was granted, but then it was subsequently dismissed. So that wiped out
But
that
why?
temporary order. In Brazoria, a case number 114751F
Not as hard as it is to
was
unmute.
also a case under these two parties, but that case was also dismissed.
Mhm.
So and either in both counties,
What year was the Brazoria one? I don't have access to that system.
that one was the non-suit was June 30, 2022.
Oh, it wasn't 21, it was 22.
Wasn't that long ago.
And ma'am, where are you living, in Galveston or Brazoria right now, or somewhere else entirely?
I live in
I'm sorry, ma'am, I couldn't hear you.
I live in Galveston.
Okay, and sir, where do you live?
I live in Brazoria County, man.
Okay.
I mean, there's going to be some interesting developments in this one, I promise.
So in both cases, Your Honor, there was never a final order.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sniffling,
back to
but it's
my
like
initial question. It sounds
60
like
degrees in here now.
there's a
I
whole
gotta-
lot of issues in this
I gotta
case.
change
Are
it.
either of
It
you
gets
planning to consult
warmer.
a lawyer, or do you want to hire a lawyer? Because I believe this is the first setting in this legal action before me that you're both present and served for.
Ma'am, I can't afford a lawyer right now, ma'am. I wouldn't even lead you on like that. I'm just trying to come to a agreement to where I can always see my children and take care of my children. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight.
Okay. And ma'am, are you planning to hire a lawyer?
If that's what I gotta do.
Ma'am, I'm not telling you you have to. I'm giving both of you the opportunity to, due to the serious issues in this case.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Do y'all like give a lawyer, or we have to obtain one? Because right now,
And there
I
are some
take care of my
serious
kids solely, so
issues.
no, I can't.
Okay, there's no right to a court-appointed lawyer in cases involving SAPS or issues or suit affecting the parent-child.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Sorry. Hold on. I'm coming. I just messed it up. I know I did. Sorry. My headphone fell out of my ear and I caught it. And I think I paused.
Relationship issues.
Hold
So
on.
if you wanted a lawyer to represent
Sorry.
you, you'd need to hire the lawyer yourself. The county doesn't provide for that.
Okay, as of right now, no, I can't afford one.
Okay. We'll start and we'll see what we can or can't get done today then. And Mr. Applin, in terms of you wanting to reach an agreement, that was when you were negotiating in the back. It appears you all didn't, so now you're here for a hearing. So Mr. DeCremasia, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Miss Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Miss Thomas, can you state your name?
Friday, Tom.
Thank you.
And ma'am, you're coming in and out. I don't know if you need to be closer to your device, but I often don't hear the end of what you're saying. And at some point that might be an issue. But
it might be because of where I'm at, located in Galveston. I'm on the east end. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. So we'll give this a try.
Okay.
Dude, I could do like a 24-hour stream.
Miss Thomas, who are your children?
Kirsten, Applin.
And how old are they?
They're 8 and 10.
And who do they live with?
Me, Charday Thomas.
And how long have they been living with you?
Since they were born.
Now, were they living with you continuously during that time?
Continuously up until March of 2019.
Okay. And then in March of
Is that a
2019,
Discord background right
who
there?
did they start living with?
Their grandparents, Tonya
Oh,
Applin.
I know that
and
purple
Damon
background. I've
Norwood.
seen it.
Okay. Do you make decisions for the child regarding their health?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you make decisions regarding their dental?
Yes, sir, I do.
Now, when you make these decisions, do you try to make these decisions with the other parent, dad?
No, sir,
Why is that?
because dad is non-involved.
Do you call him and inform him of any type of medical or dental
Mr.
decisions?
DeHameja, the last testimony was the kids lived with the grandparents. Did they ever move back?
Yes, I was going for
Okay,
11.
ma'am, one moment. That was a question to Mr. DeHameja.
Okay.
Let me follow up on that, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Now you said that they, Ms. Thomas, you said that the children went to go live with the grandparents. How long did they live with the grandparents?
11 months.
And after 11 months,
wonder
where did they
why.
go and live with? Who did they go and live with?
Me.
So they came back home.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they still live with you, right?
Did they mention
Yes,
where
sir,
she
they do.
was during those
Okay.
11 months?
Now, let's talk about visitation.
Not that I'm saying dad should have them, but
Does dad have a visitation right now with the children?
You
Mr.
mean-
Applin, we lost you. You're walking around. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, dude,
I was getting
chill.
away from my daughter. She started saying stuff.
Yeah, you really shouldn't be near children when things like this are being addressed.
Yes,
children
ma'am.
are here for this.
Yes, ma'am.
Can he ask me that question again so I can
Yes.
understand?
Yes, ma'am. What are Mr. Applin's visitation right now with the children?
I don't know how to explain it. It's pretty much none.
Well, let me ask you, when was the last time the kids went to go visit dad?
Mhm.
Oldest one went about 2 weeks ago. Youngest one is scared of him
Spiritual.
and don't go.
Spiritual hat.
When was the last time that the youngest went to go visit dad?
Oh. Nice.
I can't even name it. Months, mid-year, I don't know. It's been a while. She doesn't go at all.
Okay. Why is she scared?
For one, he took them for 7 months, like I said.
You didn't.
And what's the problem, Judge? What's going on?
I'm sorry, you didn't say that. I'm confused.
I told the man that I'm speaking to that's already.
Okay. Okay.
Would you like me to explain it to you?
Mr. DeHameja, just be aware I'm confused. But
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, we're all confused.
Ms. Thomas, can you explain what you meant about the 7 months?
The 7 months, both of my parents had died in the same week due to COVID, and I was prepared for my parents' funeral. And he asked, could he keep them, so I can get a break due to stress. The next morning, my kids were missing, and I had to look for them for 7 months because there were no custody order. So
Which
they
is
were
terrifying.
moving from house to house to house to house. Each time I found the house that they were at, the next day they were gone. And I basically had to fight to get my children back. And then the girlfriend called me Biker weekend, 5 o'clock in the morning, and said he's beating her up and the kids, and that she would give me the kids back. Just don't tell him that's how I got them. She said she was gonna basically make it like I took them from her, and that was the plan. And I got them back the very next day,
Biker rally
Monday
weekend.
of
What a
Biker
thing
rally
to remember.
weekend.
Okay.
Okay, so just for a second, yeah, definitely come join Discord. We have a lot of fun there. I don't know if you saw like earlier in the stream, I had I pulled in a really comfortable chair and put it like right here behind my computer because honestly, like we have a lot of fun on my Discord. We'll go into voice and I'll stream court there that I might be a little bit worried that YouTube wouldn't love if I streamed it on here. Or whatever. Just I mean, I love watching court, and I think most of you guys do too. But I put a really comfy chair back there, and I'll move it back so I can stop avoiding Discord because I can't lay down and do it. So yeah, I'll pin that. And we'll hang out later and like actually talk back and forth because it's hard. It's hard here.
So, can you give me the months and dates that the children was living with dad for those 7 months?
My mother died February, March, April, May. I know they came up missing May 10th. That's all I can remember because that was Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And they were living with dad for 7 months from May 10.
I can't say who they was living with because I didn't give them to him. I don't know where they were.
What year?
Of 2020, what we in 2023?
Later, not on here.
2022, 2021.
May 10, 2021.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, 2021. We're in 23, correct?
Ma'am,
Yes.
you're not supposed to be asking people for answers to your questions.
I'm looking over
Okay.
because I don't want to give you the wrong information.
Okay, it's hard. This is one of the hard things about Zoom is I can't tell what you're doing. I just see you're looking that way a lot and asking questions.
I've been through a
So
lot.
I just wanted to be sure. I'm just trying to make sure we're all following the official court rules.
No.
So I'm not trying to be difficult, but be aware I can see a lot of stuff. So I have to ask the questions.
It been through a lot with these kids.
Ma'am, today is November 8, 2023.
Okay.
So you're saying that the children, did you learn that the children were living with dad after 7 months from May 10, 2021?
I'm gonna say 20. I can't give you the year. Say 2022.
Okay. But you are sure that the kids were living with dad for 7 months?
No, I'm not gonna say that they.
Did I just stop it? Oh my God, I
were
can't
living
touch
with him
these
because I didn't know
headphones.
where they were. I just know that he's the one that took them from the grandma's house when they so-called said let them watch them to get a break from burying my parents for the night.
Okay. And when you got the kids back, you said your testimony was that the girlfriend had told you that the kids was with dad?
Yes, the girlfriend called 5 o'clock Sunday night, biker rally weekend.
Okay. Now, when the
biker rally
oldest
weekend.
the visits dad, does she do any overnights?
Yes, she does.
How many overnights?
Maybe one, maybe two, because it always ends up in drama and I have to come get my kid or threaten him in some kind of way to get her to me.
Like, don't worry, this gets worse.
And
I mean,
the
it
oldest,
sucks for the kids.
how does she feel about dad?
She loves it.
Sorry, you broke up, ma'am. I couldn't hear that.
She loves her dad.
Okay.
But I'm thinking more of the wanting to go with dad is to be around the other siblings.
Now, how do y'all do the pickup and drop off?
Mostly through the girlfriend.
Do y'all meet somewhere to do the pickup and drop off?
Yes, in front of his parents' house.
Okay.
Girlfriend is at his parents' house?
No, the girlfriend comes to the parents' house.
Okay.
Whose parents' house does she pick up the kids from?
Kendall's parents' house.
Kendall's parents. Okay. Do you have any safety concerns?
Yes, I do.
Why do you have safety concerns?
First of all, he's always drunk. Second of all, the aggressiveness, the controlness, just how he talks. He's a big guy and he uses that to throw his weight around to basically bully. And when he don't get his way, then here comes the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, all that.
You know, the problem is at this point, like, I don't not believe her. It's not that I think that she's lying and making all this up. I don't know. I mean, I've seen. I'm gonna shut up. I'm so bad at this. I'm trying not to spoil
And
anything.
did you want a non-disclosure where your address and phone number is not in any order?
Please.
Okay.
Does he know where you live, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
Does he know where you live?
No.
Okay.
Nor
how did
phone number.
I'm sorry.
how
can
did you
I'm sorry, Judge. What'd you
I
say?
could not hear you. You blipped out. Are you able to hear all this, Mr. DeHamasia, or am I the only one whose computer is like the end of her sentences sometimes don't come over?
Your
Judge
Honor, you're
Baker's
right. It
struggling
does
right
kind of
now.
Okay.
go
If you
down
hear that
towards the end.
happening, please don't ask the next question yet until, because I don't know what she's saying and I don't want to guess. So
Okay. The last thing I said was, nor does he know my phone number.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you know what app close is?
Yes.
Did you want app close?
I'm up for it. Yes, sir.
Biker Rally Weekend is her one frame of reference. Like, that's how she remembers when things were. She doesn't remember the year that it was when her parents died, or what year it was when her kids are lost, or she remembers that it was the weekend of Biker Rally Weekend, whatever that is.
Okay. What type of medical and dental insurance are the kids on right now?
Oh shit, it's been 2 hours. I can say bad
we
words.
don't know. They're supposed to be on transitional, which is what I'm on, as well as my oldest two kids. But because of something is going on, they have Medicaid, but she's saying it's a block somewhere because of where he's stating he has the kids. They're not. I can't explain it because I don't know. I don't work for Medicaid.
Okay, but your testimony is Medicaid is involved.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now you're asking this court for back child support as well, right?
Yes, sir.
4 years from the date of this filing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It might be rocket science, Michael.
Okay.
You don't know.
Now,
It's all relative.
where you make your home, do you want are you asking for no restrictions or for Galveston and contiguous counties?
Okay, make me understand what that means.
Where you make your home with the children, are you requesting that it to be where you live in Galveston and contiguous counties that touch Galveston, or do you want no restrictions?
No restrictions.
And why is that?
Because I have a daughter that just graduated and she's going to college, and I plan on wherever she's going to college to go with her.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, can we just stop right there? Her oldest, did you hear that? Can we just stop and appreciate that this mom says that she is going to, when her daughter goes to college, she is going to move right along with her. Lord, please help her oldest daughter. I really hope you get the geographic restriction literally so that can't happen. That's all I'm going to say on that. Let your kids go.
Okay, ma'am, before we call your next witness, can we flesh that out a little more, Mr. DeHamasia?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Thomas, you said that you were going to go and live where one of your daughters is graduating or is going to be going to college. Where is that? Where is she going to go to college? Do you know?
She's thinking LSU.
Okay, so you have plans on in the future moving to Louisiana?
Once she decides on where she wants to go to college.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
The state calls Mr. Kendall Applin. Mr. Applin, can you state your name?
Kendall Applin, sir.
Mr. Applin, do you make decisions regarding the kids' health and dental right now?
They should be still on the Medicaid. She gets Well, you
Well,
only asked about health and dental. Yeah, they should still be on my Medicaid.
but listen to my question, Mr. Applin. Do you want to make decisions regarding your
Oh, yes,
kids
sir. Yes,
with
sir.
the
I
others,
always
with
take
the other
them.
parent?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I always take them to the dentist and everything. I do that. Yes, sir.
Okay. Who do you take which kids do you take to the dentist? The kids in this case?
When I have them, I take them. I schedule their dentist appointments on 71st at Galveston Island Dental. I want to say the name of it is. And my other
Just threw
kids,
out
they
an
go to
address.
Brazoria County Dental.
Okay, Mr. Damage, are the other children relevant to this case?
They're relevant later.
Okay, if we can limit it then, because it's confusing. A lot of things get said and I don't know the background, and it's very confusing when we talk about people that are not relevant.
Okay.
Yes, it's hard to follow what's actually happening and what's happening to these children.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. I'll ask.
Can you just look how she's sitting
I'll
right
only
now?
ask as to the two kids in this case.
Darday. It's not how
Mr.
you
Applin,
sit.
The children in this case, Kirsten and Kinsland, do you want to make decisions regarding their health and dental with the other parent?
Most definitely, sir.
Okay.
So when was the last time you took
embarrassing
Kinsland to the dentist?
Last
know,
year,
Jessica.
actually, last September, I want to say.
So
Because
September.
she's been with her mom. She
yeah,
was here with me, and I scheduled her appointment, and I took her.
So September of 2022?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I couldn't hear you.
Was it September of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And it was both of them. It just wasn't Kirsten. I mean, Kinsland.
And has either child
God
gone
for
with you
small
to the dentist
favors.
since then?
No, ma'am, because they've been with their mom since then. I gave them back in October.
Welcome.
You may continue, Mr. Decamation.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Applin, what is the visitation right now with the two children?
I go get my children every weekend, sir.
Okay. When was the last time you had Kirsten and Kinsland?
Kirsten hasn't been in a month. She likes to be under her mom, so she hasn't been in a month. But she comes at least twice a month. Kinsland comes every weekend.
Okay. And they have a good time with you at your place?
Most definitely, sir. We go ride horses. We do all kind of stuff, sir.
Okay. Now, has the kids ever lived with you, sir?
Bye, Dave. Thanks.
Yeah, most definitely. Yes, sir. They have, me and my girlfriend.
Can you give me a time frame when the kids came to live with you?
From the beginning?
From on or about 2019.
Okay, 2019, their mom was incarcerated. They were already living with my mom, and I was living with my mom because I was going through some financial hardships. I met my soon-to-be wife in 2019, and they came to live with us. They lived with us for 3 years. I gave them back to their mother just recently.
So just to clear it up, y'all were living all under the same household from what time frame again?
Glad you're here.
From March, she went to jail she went to jail March 2019, and I gave them back October of 21. I want to say no, I gave them back October of 22. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And they have been on my benefits and everything.
Slip the
So
mind.
I'm pretty sure you can look that up and
It
see. I've
happens.
been having them.
These benefits?
Ma'am, it's not your turn right now.
Oh, okay.
Remember in the beginning, I said, you're not the one being asked questions. Wait till it's your turn. Thank you.
Now, sir, do you have any other kids?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. How many other kids besides the two in this case?
I have 3 other children.
Okay. Now, do any of them, do any of the 3 live in your household?
Yeah, my 2 babies live with me, my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old.
And what about the other child?
My other son lives with his mother.
Okay, are you on child support for that other child?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Applin, what do you do for a living?
I'm a welder by trade. I'm NCCR certified. I have an associate's degree in welding technology, and I'm also going to pursue my bachelor's in chemical engineering.
Okay. Are you working right now?
No, sir. I got laid off from my job at Excel. Like I told you, July 24th. And man, it's been kind of hard. I done bust a few
Smooth
weld
talker,
tests,
I'll
like
give him
not a
that.
few, like 3 of them. I bust them, and I just got to get my skills back all the way right, and I'll be back in the field in no time.
Now, do you know
That's
what
his best
choices
paying
is?
cop.
Yes, sir. You told me about it.
Did you want to participate in a
Most-
program
mo-
like that?
Most definitely, especially if they help with other crafts and help me find a job. Most definitely, sir.
Okay. Now, do you have any safety concerns?
No, sir. I don't have any safety concerns.
Okay. The where y'all doing the pickup and drop off right now? At your mom and dad's house?
No, we only met there once. We meet on 2004, or I drive all the way to Galveston to get them. It depends on how if she's mad one day, I have to drive to Galveston. If she's feeling okay, she'll meet me.
Where, okay, that's not, can you just said a few different things, sir. Can you flesh that out more, how they figure all that out, Mr. DeHamasia, and some maybe approximately all these things happen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I'm not sure I understand what they're doing. According to
Mr. Applin, let me ask you this: where would you like the pickup and drop off to be?
It can be at my mom's house. I'm fine with my mom's house.
Okay.
Do you have that address, sir?
We can get that in a minute.
Okay.
Are you did you know what app close is, sir?
Yes, sir.
Did you would you like something like that to communicate with the other party?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you heard testimony that she didn't want restrictions. How do you feel about that?
I don't, and her not wanting restriction is me not knowing where my children are, or like they can leave and go to California or anything. Is that what that means?
Well, if there's no restrictions, she can make her home in other areas of the country. Yes, sir. How do you feel about that?
I don't agree with that. I don't have problem with like surrounding counties or anything, or Dallas or something. I don't, long as they're close. I don't want my children 15 hours away from me, sir.
Okay.
Man, child support be running me hot because I'm about people.
Don't you talk under your breath, man?
Don't do shit. So what the difference is?
Ma'am, we can hear you. You're using inappropriate language for one thing. You're in court. I can hold you in contempt for using that language, so please don't do that. Two, we can hear you. And you're obviously talking to someone. Remember, I told you you were looking that way and talking. You told me you weren't talking to somebody. Seems like you might be talking to someone. So please be aware of your surroundings and that you're in court.
I'm getting
You may proceed, Mr. DeHamasia.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Applin, have you given any type of monies in support of the children to Mr. Thomas in the last 4 years?
You say that again, sir? You're kind of going in and out.
Have you given, have you supported your children in this case? Have you given any monies to the to Miss Thomas?
I don't give her the physical actual dollar, but anything they need besides clothes, shoes, toothbrushes, toothpaste, anything they need, I buy it, and every time I send them home with brand new stuff every single time.
Okay.
They come to me with nothing, and I send them back with their clothes every time. I gotta buy them new clothes now because they don't have anything. I sent it back.
Mr. Damasia, I'm thinking this is going to be a temporary order at best, so I don't think we need to address retro right now.
Okay, pass the witness, Your Honor.
Is there anything further you have, Mr. Damasia?
Your Honor, we just request that,
Okay, well, let me give them a chance to speak, because
okay.
at
Yes,
the beginning, someone
please,
indicated there was a
please.
custody battle, and I've heard nothing of that. So I want to make sure they have a chance to have their day in court on all issues.
Let's do it.
The state doesn't represent either of you. Mr. Applin, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. I kind of have my ear to the phone because
Okay, that's fine. I appreciate you all.
everything you're saying.
Okay. The state doesn't represent either of you. And so I'm going to give you both a chance to say anything else that didn't come out during the hearing so far, to be sure that all of your issues are addressed and I can hear them. I guess, Ms. Thomas, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. And again, you're coming in and out, so I might interrupt you every now and then. Like I could barely hear you say okay, to be honest, but I kind of knew you were saying okay. So you may proceed.
Sure, it wasn't the other
first
way
of all, I
around.
want to show you this, and I can send it to you
I'm
guys through via email or however you need it. These are my children's Medicaid, and they're doing it month to month because of whatever fraudulent stuff he was doing in my kid's name. So we get that fully done. They're at least giving it month to month. You also asked him when the last time did he take my children to the doctor or the dentist. He can't take them because he's a non-custodial parent. I've taken my child within the last month to the dentist, and she has to get 3 teeth extracted. That's why I'm pushing the issue on the Medicaid. Also, as far as what he does for them, he don't do nothing. Like I stated to you when you asked me about my daughter being sick, she just got out the emergency room last night. Now,
I just want to remind you, I don't know what happened in the back. This is the first I'm hearing of your daughter being sick and out of the emergency room and all that stuff. So please keep that in mind. I want to hear about it, but just briefly. I don't want you to think I know about it because I don't.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Damasia doesn't get to tell me what you all discussed in the back. That it's improper for him to do that.
My daughter was running a 102 fever last night, and I tried to break it at home. And by me, moving to a new place, I didn't have the money. All I asked him was, can he send some Gatorades and some, soup? You think I got it? No, ma'am. So once I told him, just don't even worry about it. This is the issue that brings me up about, of meeting somewhere with him with the kids, because it's always aggressiveness. I'm always out my cuss words or anything. And as far as when my daughter do go with him, I don't see anything. It's because my daughter clothes and tennis shoes are not cheap. So therefore, when they don't make it back, and I also feel like if I'm primary and I buy everything, when she goes with you, you have your clothes and underwear and toothbrush and stuff there. That way we don't have to do nothing but just, hey, send a kid. Because when you send her to me, I don't ask you for anything. So I feel the same way. When I send her to you, you should have everything you need for her. But my biggest issue
let me
is,
just
like
say
I
one
said,
thing, which might be okay now if is aggressiveness a real word? Aggressiveness, I think it is. Like that might be okay now when they're 8 and 10, but when they get a little bit older, they're going to want their stuff. They're going to want their favorite shirt. They're going to want their favorite pants. Like, how you can just send your kid off for a week with none of like their stuff that they love. I mean, kids love their stuff. Come on, people. Grow the hell up.
he ain't had no kids for however long he stated. That you can go through school records, food stamp stuff, and it would clearly show you that's a lie. Now, the 11 months that I was
let me just, you might have a misconception. And I want to make sure you're aware of what I can and can't do. I am not allowed to research or investigate. So if you say things to me like, and give me leads, like go to the school or do this, that's not proper. I'm not permitted to do that. I don't represent anybody. I'm here to collect evidence from litigants. So you're both free to provide me with information or documents or anything that you think will help your case. But I'm not here to investigate. I'm not allowed to do that. So I just want you to be aware of that. Because again, this is going to be a temporary order. You're going to get another chance to come back to court, both of you. And so if there are things that you think I need to see that are out there in your world, you need to bring them to court so I can see them.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And that applies to, and I didn't think you did. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. And I wanted to make sure Mr. Applin knew it too, because he very much might not either. So I just want you both to know, because sometimes I think people get frustrated and they think I should go investigate. And I understand the feeling, but I can't. And so I just want you all to know that. It's not that I'm being difficult or I don't care about your issues. I think you both have a lot of serious concerns and issues, which is why I'm only at most going to do a temporary order today. I want to give you all a chance to deal with some of this. So you may proceed.
What is a temporary order?
It would just,
it's a little bit of a slow
what you had last
burn,
time. It's temporary. You
but
have
it
to come back to finalize
escalates.
it. It is still
It
an
definitely
order,
escalates.
but it doesn't, it gets you another chance to come back to court where everything can be relooked at depending upon what happens. But I want you all still need your chance to talk. So I'm not making a ruling at this time.
My main thing is, like I said, he wants to be a father. I have no problem with that. But when you're dealing with a alcoholic, a verbal abuser, a mental abuser, a physical abuser, not only just against me, but my kids as well. That's what I'm trying to protect. As I stated to the man who I'm speaking with, Mr. What's your name?
Declaration.
Mr. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your name.
You can call me Gary.
Okay,
Gary,
Mr. Gary. That was
podcast.
the first thing that I stated to Mr. Gary was the concerns of my children.
Okay. So what, ma'am, what protections do you want me to order for your children?
I mean, I don't know what can y'all order because, like I stated, the 8-year-old is terrified of him. That's why he said.
Have you looked into counseling?
For my daughter, yes, she has been in counseling. Yes.
Okay. How long has she been seeing a counselor for?
She's been seeing him. She only seen him for 6 months, and she didn't want to talk anymore. She started shutting down, so I left it alone.
I have some ideas.
And this was after he, if I can use the word, kidnapped her for 7 months.
There it is.
And he didn't give them back.
Ma'am, you just used a big term. Have you contacted the DA's office about any allegations of kidnapping?
Yes, I did. And
are they pursuing it?
No, they said because it was no court order that says, it was basically up in the air. It's his kid, it's my kid. They basically told me, go get my kid back in blood.
Go get your kid back in blood? What does that mean?
Okay.
And as he stated, he gave them back in October. No, the girlfriend did. And that was because I guess they fought that night or however that went, and she was scared for her kids and mine.
Mines. Not putting that on the screen. Oh my god, this is way longer than I would normally stream. We can do this. We'll make it.
Oh, and one more thing, and I'm done. Are you listening, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm also looking things up for your case, but yes.
Okay. The other biggest problem that I have is it's not about my children. When I do allow them to speak with him, it's always about me. Where your mama at? What your mama got on? Tell your mama to shake up, I'm like, and that's when I take the phone and I hang up. Because it's never how was today at school or, anything pertaining to them. It's always about their mother. So that's another reason why I don't like them talking to him, because you ain't talking to them about nothing.
Has anyone called CPS, or do you know if CPS has been involved with the children?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, when was the last time CPS was involved?
When he was choking me and I was accidentally...
Time frame. Before we get details.
20. Okay, Juice is born 2/15, 16, so about 17, 18. About year 2017, 18.
Okay, and did they never did any court orders, CPS?
Initially, yes, they gave my kids back to me. I was arrested because I drew blood from her. But once I explained the situation of his height and him choking me, I just was trying to swing to get him off me and I accidentally hit her. So once it was investigated, case was dropped, and they brought my kids straight to my house to me.
But during the time that you says he kidnapped the children, you didn't call CPS?
Yes, CPS. CPS. They said it's a I'm trying to find the legal term, civil issue.
Okay, so you didn't
It
actually.
is. I believe her there.
Did you also express any concern with them being there aside from the fact they were kidnapped?
Yes,
And
I did.
And what did CPS say about the concerns of their living environment?
They would never
I
answer
don't
the
think that's
door.
why.
And
they dropped it?
Yeah, they kept dropping the ball, and each time that we would find the new houses that they were at, by the time we called or the police, they were gone again. They went from Galveston to Lamar, that area, and then ended up in Lake Jackson. And the only way I was able to get this Lake Jackson address was because I asked my daughter. She's old enough and smart enough to figure out that the address and the apartment number so we can call child support, so we can get a, like a custody order to, if anything happens, I need you guys to come get it back home. It's not even about the money with me with this child support thing.
Yeah.
I want, if he ever takes my kid, that something will happen to him, because he don't bring them back. He use them as long as they're good enough for him. And mind you, this time when he took them for the 7 months, he was receiving stimulus, food stamps, and all that. Once all that was gone, not a girlfriend calling saying she get beat to death, come get the kids. And I didn't even drive myself. I didn't want no drama. My friend, along with their 2 older sisters, drove to Lake Jackson. I don't even know the location, and got my babies.
Cash maturity on everything but the bank.
Ooh. Dang it.
Okay,
Did I mess
Mr.
up? No, I didn't.
Applin, the state doesn't represent you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh yes, ma'am. I don't have all those concerns that my children's mother had. I just want to be a father. I just want to spend time with my children without anybody controlling when I can see them or hanging it over my head. I don't have any.
Do you recognize, or do you think that your younger child has some concerns right now?
No, ma'am, at all. Nothing. It could be nothing, because I don't even spank my children like that. When I discipline my children,
I don't think she said you spanked your children.
yeah, I don't do nothing to them that.
Said too much. First of all, I'm so sorry that your kid got taken. But I think what they meant here when she called the cops is that there was no custody order between them. So she was the mom and she was the dad. And if the dad has the kids, it's not necessarily kidnapping in their mind, regardless of whether or not the mom has always been the custody person that has custody. And I mean, that's not necessarily the case. I'm sure that based on how you act, how you present your case, you could probably convince them to take at least some action. But if they're acting like they're acting now, I can totally see the cops being like, okay, this is civil, deal with it in court, have a nice day, ma'am. Unfortunately, or I don't know. And like I say, like I don't disbelieve her necessarily. I don't think that she's sitting here making things up and doing this because she has extra time on her hands. I just don't. I just don't think some people know how to handle themselves in a civil, respectful manner. Like maybe they didn't have role models. Maybe they've never seen how it's done. It just, the normal is so different than mine. Like, thank God. And yeah, as a teacher, I've seen this. It makes me sad. I've cried myself to sleep more nights than I'd like to admit, because of a kid that I couldn't help, or kids that I couldn't help. It's hard. It's so hard. So hard. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
All that sexual stuff that all that, that's the assassinating.
Hold up.
No, my head, a children's mother. I just want to be a father. I just want to spend time with my children without anybody controlling when I can see them or hanging it over my head. I don't have any.
Do you recognize, or do you think that your younger child has some concerns right now?
No, ma'am, at all. Nothing. It could be nothing because I don't even spank my children like that. When I discipline my children.
I don't think she said you spanked your children.
Yeah, I don't do nothing to them. All that sexual stuff that that's to assassinate my character. I've already been through this once with her.
What?
Did you go to jail, sir, ever for
Yes, man.
violence?
She filed fake. Well, I'm gonna say I beat it in trial. She filed rape charges on me. She's done all kinds of stuff to assassinate my character, and it still is to this day. And as you see, I'm sitting here. I still have nothing bad to say about her. I'm not the one doing this. I just want to be a dad. That's it. That's all.
You're saying you were never convicted of anything against her?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever go to jail for doing
I
anything?
went to jail. Yes, ma'am. I bonded out. I had to spend $10,000 to get out. I fought a case. I was in college. I had to stop going to college because of this charge. I fought a case for 2.5 years.
Sir, weren't you convicted of bodily injury against her in 2017?
We both went to jail then. I don't remember that. I remember me and her both going to jail. I remember that.
Yeah.
Do you know that your younger daughter was going to counseling?
No, I don't either. I don't
No,
know.
ma'am. She's never told me that. And me and my daughters are close. They talk to me. I would know that. She would tell me, Daddy, I'm seeing a counselor.
She brought a lot of stuff up.
2017 is from us both fighting each other. I can admit that. And she called the police on me. She was the one. Lord have mercy. I was defending myself and I went to jail.
Sir, I have a question
Lord
for you.
have mercy is right.
So you said you see your older daughter every weekend.
Yes, ma'am, every weekend.
Okay, but you don't go to her house to pick up the child, right?
I don't know where she lives with someone, man.
Okay, so
she
how
doesn't
do you
live by herself.
How do you get the child every weekend? Like,
I drive down 2004, ma'am. Like I say, when she feels like
so you just pick her up on the side of the road?
We'll meet at a store, Buc-ee's. It's another store on 2004.
So you call Miss. So I guess I'm trying to figure out the logistics of this. How does that meetup come about?
My children call me, hey, Dad, I'm out of school. All right, tell your mama, is she gonna meet me this week?
Mm-hmm.
If she say yes, she say yes. We meet off 2004 at the gas station. If she
Maybe
say
Friday,
no, I drive to Galveston and I pick them up.
Where do you pick them up in Galveston?
Last time I was picking them up in Galveston, it was at my mom's house. I picked them up from her apartment, but that was a couple months ago when she had her apartment. That's why we're mainly picking them up from on 41st.
So she's moved from a place you used to know to a place you don't know now.
Yeah, I don't know where she is now. And that's not my concern.
What a nightmare.
Ma'am, is he trying to get them every week?
No.
Could you say
And
it
like-
again, ma'am?
And like I stated, it's not him. The girlfriend for them. I deal with
Okay.
Is it my turn to talk? Or
I'm
her
going to
turn?
ask you both a question. And it's what you're asking for. I feel like in a lot of these cases, there's a lot of anger and hostility and a lot of bad things have happened, and I hear a lot about them. But at the end of the day, I'm not criminal. I don't get to punish people for bad behavior in the past. I can only use that information to make rulings that go forward. And so I guess I'm trying to figure out right now what each of you is asking for going forward in terms of visitation.
I just want to see my children every
Okay, I
weekend.
can't put it in order. You get to see your children. It needs to be more specific than that. So when I'm asking now, what specifically you are each asking for, because I'm pretty sure what she's going to offer will let you see them. It might not be what you want though. But I don't know that. You might agree. I'm not sure. So Ms. Thomas, do you have a proposal that's more specific for what you think would be in the kids' best interest? And this is just going to be a temporary order. It's not going to be forever. I do think having a schedule for both of you might help some of these issues. It won't require communication. And getting the kids involved in visitation isn't so good either. Just like they shouldn't be listening to the court hearing. They shouldn't be going back and forth between you two, trying to figure out the logistics. So hopefully we can nail down logistics. Now, life happens, people get sick, things happen, but hopefully we can nail it down so that it's not a constant conversation over logistics. We can figure out a schedule and a place where all this can happen. And then hopefully that'll calm some of the other stuff down.
Okay,
well, they communicate about, because you do have to communicate about things, but if we can avoid some of the issues, it might help.
They normally stay with me from Friday to Sunday night, and I drop them back off to her. So if I can do that, at least if I can have a weekend with them at least twice out the month, is that more specific for you?
That's helpful. Ma'am, what do you think of that proposal?
The proposal isn't bad.
I'm sorry, you blipped out. I couldn't hear what you said. The proposal isn't, and I have no idea what you said.
Proposal isn't bad, but it also determines on him, because he might not be drunk this weekend and everything goes cool, but next weekend he might be drunk. Then my kids are calling me crying, saying, "Come get me." And like I stated before, the smaller one is definitely terrified of him. That's the one that he's not even speaking up on because she don't go with him.
She doesn't go because she doesn't let her go with me, ma'am. She only lets her go when she wants to. She hangs her over my head. That's what she does. And she only keeps her because she tells my daughter that I'm not going to bring her back. And I always do. I'm not the problem here, man. I'm really not, clearly.
Sir, I'm not sure that's.
He's also not the problem. You know, I don't believe I.
If it were left up to her, I would have no visitation rights, no nothing. I'm not that type of father.
She did not say that. I have not heard that from either of you. And so saying something like that is not helping the situation. And if you're willing to say that in court, as I'm about to make a ruling, it does raise the question what you're willing to say when no one's watching. So.
Sorry. Okay, blame Big Tiff for this because
And join you from using it.
She made me realize I hadn't eaten yet, and I got up and yeah.
Sir, do you have an issue with alcohol?
No, ma'am.
So if I enjoin you from using it,
ma'am,
if I have an injunction where you're not allowed to use it or drink it when you're near the children or with the children, would you have a problem with that?
No, ma'am, I wouldn't. I'm a recreational drinker, just like everyone else, ma'am.
Okay, but you're not going to be a recreational drinker the weeks you have when you have, well, the weekends when
and
you have.
I don't mind that, ma'am.
Let's can I see anything in here? This is the smallest screen for hands. It's almost over. I promise. I normally wouldn't go this long, but like we stopped mid case and like started another one, so this is way, way past my whatever ability to entertain or whatever. Come on.
I can't hear you.
I didn't answer, sir.
Okay.
Bear,
So next court date is? I can't hear you.
I didn't answer, sir.
Okay.
Bear with me.
I can't really skip to the order, but you'll see why in a minute. You'll see why I can't skip. Every time I'm about to skip, I feel like. No. There we go.
Mr. What's your name?
I'm gonna pause myself. That this is
And-
recorded, so you probably can't be asking questions right now. And I'm going to be working on my ruling, so bear with me.
That was all.
All right. I mean, come on, people. Like, you guys are in court. Sorry, I should have.
And you can
And we
say
have
that.
kids in a
There we
silver.
go. There we go. I went too far. All right. I'm a mess. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being nice about it. Just skip to my plane. I am.
We asked that that the court give Ms. Thomas a non-disclosure. That Mr. Applin be ordered to participate in choices, that $45 a month in cash medical towards the governmental health plan that should start December 1, 2023. That
Gave him credit for 3 other kids with that number.
yes, Your Honor. So if we base child support on minimum wage of $1256.67 and $45 in cash medical, 2 kids in this case, 3 kids outside this case, the multi-family child support amount would be $210 a month.
Okay. And you can
And
say
we-
that the cash medical number as well, all those other people.
Yes, Your Honor. I multiplied by the correct factor to
Thank you.
that the 45 would be 2 and 3 scenario.
It still gets worse. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I'm going to order a temporary order in this case. And I'm going to order each of you take a parenting class. And have the proof of parenting class, the graduation certificate, either filed with the court or returned to the Attorney General's office prior to the next setting.
Ma'am, I work 2 jobs to provide for my kids. I don't have time for no parents in class.
Ma'am, you're
In that
before the
case-
court, and I feel it's in the best interest of the children. They're online usually. I believe we're not setting this tomorrow for final trial. I believe you'll have some time to do it.
Okay.
Amen.
Ordering that Ms. Thomas is the managing conservator and that Mr. Applin is the possessory conservator. For the temporary order, I am ordering a residency restriction of Galveston or Brazoria or any county that touches either Galveston or Brazoria. I'm ordering that Mr. Applin participate in the Choices program. I'm ordering that Mr. Applin pay child support of $210 per month, beginning December 1st of 2023. I'm ordering that Ms. Thomas apply for a government medical program. So Ms. Thomas should be the one applying for any Medicaid or CHIP or any kind of insurance. And that Mr. Applin pay cash medical of $45 per month, beginning December 1st of 2023. I'm ordering the non-disclosure for Ms. Thomas, and I am ordering the parties to communicate through app close. I'm ordering an injunction against Mr. Applin drinking any alcohol within 24 hours or during any visits with the children. I'm enjoining each party, both of them, from talking to the children about this case. And I'm also enjoining them specifically from telling any child that a parent won't allow visitation or that a parent won't return the child. So that's in addition to the other injunction.
And am I safe to ask you a question? I understand.
Not yet, sir. I'm still working on my ruling. And
Okay.
let me get it out, because when people interrupt them, I tend to forget, to be honest.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Distracting. I am ordering that Mr. Applin have visitation on the second and fourth weekends from 6 p.m. Friday to 6 p.m. Sunday. The pickup and drop off will be at his parents' house. And ma'am, you're comfortable with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that covers everything for the temporary order, and then we'll discuss in a
You'd
moment
think, wouldn't you?
when to come back for final. But did you have a question, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I understand. I understood everything but the resident restriction. Just meaning like as long as I pick them up and drop them off at the set time. That's what that means, basically.
It means she can't be moving far away during this while this temporary order is in effect.
Okay.
And we'll
okay.
address it further on final trial.
And I will get my order in an email since we're on Zoom, or how does that work?
The Attorney General's office, well, we still have to figure out a reset date, so I don't want to forget that. But the Attorney General's office is going to draft the order today, and they'll be sending it to you all through DocuSign to review and to sign off on. And they'll have you go back to the breakout room where you'll be able to review it and ask any questions about it.
Thank you.
We will need a reset date. I want to give this a little bit of time so that you can all come back and either have an agreement at that point, or if we do have a hearing, so you can tell me how this has worked. So I don't want to just give it like a month, because
sounds like it's going to be over, doesn't
it? For no fault of their own, none of this happens. So I want to give it enough time that even if illness occurs or something happens, and it'll give your choices a chance as well to move forward. So, and you'll be meeting with that Choices representative today as well on Zoom. Right? He's here today, Mr. Kamisha.
Yes, Your Honor. She is present.
She is here. Okay, she's here. The Choices representative is Miss Erin today. So yes, you'll be able to meet with her today. So I'm thinking maybe the reset for February.
That sounds good, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have a
Um, you want to do February 28th?
That's fine.
And
let's do 8:30 a.m.
I will after this live is over. I will go into Discord and the voice for a little bit while I eat my dinner. Before I get to work on, I really have to do some editing. I cannot believe I've sitting here for almost 3 hours. Okay, let's finish. There's some interesting stuff coming.
Man, I don't want to have it that stretched out.
Well, ma'am, that's what I'm ruling right now. If I'm going to let you both know, Mr. Applin, are you still there? Mr. Applin, are you still listening? Okay, I want you both
Yes, ma'am.
to know,
Yes.
if something does happen in the interim, hopefully it won't, but if something does happen in the interim that you'd normally feel you need to call police or CPS or any authority that handles those kind of matters, this does not prevent you from doing that. The DA, I mean, whoever you might think you'd need to call. Nothing in this temporary order prevents you from doing that. I don't have any way to foresee in the future. Again, hopefully nothing bad will happen, but if it does, I can't really plan for it, but you can still take any action you need. This doesn't prevent you from doing whatever you would need to do. And again, I know you've both said you don't plan to do it, but you are both free if you want to consult or hire lawyers or investigate getting one. Nothing in this temporary order prevents you from doing that either.
Before we close out, I have 2 questions, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first question, you stated something about mentioning anything to the kids about the court. I have no problem with that. But my 8-year-old, she's gonna ask. That's just the type of kid she is. She wants to know, she's gonna ask. What am I supposed to tell my child? That she's basically having to go somewhere that she doesn't want to go?
I can't give you legal advice, ma'am. You can tell her that, mom and dad are handling this. I encourage you to be positive, and I encourage you to encourage. I also, I know you are going to be talking through app close, sir. You might, I don't want you talking about the case per se, but sir, if your daughter is having concerns about fearing that you're not going to return her, you might want to convince her you're going to return her. You have a court order now that tells you have to return her. So if that's truly what's keeping her from wanting to visit you, I'm not enjoining you from discussing that issue. I don't want you going around saying you're not going to return her. That would be improper. And there's a whole lot of things you could say to children that might be improper, and I can't enunciate every one of them in the order. But making your kids feel secure and loved. I encourage you both to do that. I'm hoping the parents will focus
Put that
on
in the
that.
order, maybe. I don't know.
I know talking to counselors with young children is very difficult. So I was really hoping that would have worked for your child, ma'am, but I understand why it might not.
When she comes, I try my best to let her know I'm taking her back. I don't want to keep her away from her mother at all. That's not what I want.
And just you both really need to be mindful of the children. This isn't about, my ruling isn't about either of you, and this really isn't about either of you.
And then I don't think about my kids neither.
Yeah.
Because if I was to put my child in front of you, you would definitely change your ruling. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. I understand you're only going by what we're saying, but if you was to put my child in front of you, you would definitely change your ruling.
Okay. And I did ask both of you what your proposal was for visitation.
She did. She did.
I encourage you both to talk to your daughter. And sir, again, listen to her. Listen, I'm not encouraging you not to visit with her, but listen to her. Listen to what she's willing to do. Maybe you start with something smaller and you work up. Do you think that would help, ma'am, if you started with something smaller with that daughter and worked up?
No, because he already did too much. The damage is there. And now I gotta
ma'am, you didn't give me a single proposal for what you want me to do.
She don't want to go. Now the oldest one, that's his pick. Meaning out of all his, that's his favorite. She wants to go, that's fine. But even some days she calls me. They're fighting because of the alcohol, because of the drug use, because of the whatever, the stress. He doesn't even have a job.
Okay, we're going to add I didn't hear drugs before, so we're going to do an injunction against alcohol or illicit drugs.
I don't do drugs, man.
Okay, well then it won't be a problem to add it.
I work 2 jobs to take care of my kids just so I don't have to ask him for nothing. Like I stated in the beginning, it's not even about the funds. I want the custody type thing because that's the only way I can protect my children, and that's the only way that she knows mama is going to keep you safe. That's it. What this was, the weekend or the weekend before last, when I told him to go on her side to speak to her because he was so worried about me, like once again, And then when she wanted to speak to him, he started blaming on me and called me out my name in front of my daughter. And I almost ran him over. Like,
Okay, and sir, that's something, if that did happen, that's part of the injunction. You can't be doing that in front of the kids.
Ma'am, I didn't.
I'm not asking if you did or not. I'm saying going forward, we can't change the
I
past.
understand.
Going forward, nobody should be disparaged, and let's do enjoining them from disparaging the other parent in front of the children. Let's add that injunction.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Behamisha, did you hear that?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm writing it down.
Okay.
If you're not talking to these kids. If you're not talking to these kids or until the system fails them, and then we be like, oh, well, he was drinking with them and the car flipped over and they died. Or, well, he was hitting on them.
I'm going to refer
her
this,
jaws broke.
ma'am, I'm going to refer this case. I'm not going to reset it for final trial. I'm going to refer this case to district court. And then Mr. J. Hamasha, you can get an earlier trial setting and you can address these issues with the district court. This is 4D child support court. There's a limit to what it can do. I was hesitant to refer it because every other time it's been referred, it has been dismissed. So I was hesitant to do that. But if you are going to be asking for all of these, if you want people to interview children, possibly have ad litem's, do all those things, that's where the referring court would come in. So I'm going to refer this case for final trial.
That's fine with me.
And I wish you all the best. I hope it doesn't dismiss this time, and you'll go from there. But I am ordering the temporary order to get something started. For now, I'm just ordering the second and fourth weekend for the oldest child from 6 to 6 p.m. Sunday, for the youngest. And this is where it gets hard because it's gonna be a lot of driving. I don't know that either of you can really do this.
So they going on they will be coming on different days and times.
I can't in good conscience not give him any visits, ma'am. I could give him less visits with the other child.
Right.
All right.
I mean, I'm kind of with the judge a little bit, like, it's too much. I can't.
Mr.
I can't help you. I can't help you.
Referring court.
I can do it pretty quick, Your Honor. Maybe next week.
You can get it before the referring court next week?
I can try to get a date next week. I don't know what the date they're going to give me, though.
That's off.
Okay, I'm going to leave my ruling as is, the second and fourth weekend from 6 to 6. Leaving all those injunctions in.
So we're in what weekend? So this weekend they would have to go with him.
What weekend are you up to?
What a nightmare.
This weekend, yeah. Why don't we
change the ruling again?
Man, me and my daughter had she had already planned to get her hair done this weekend. So I'm trying to see why would she knows that already also. Why would she change the weekend? Because my daughter likes to split us. She likes to split it up. When she comes with me, she likes to come with me 1 week. She likes to stay home 1 week. My oldest comes with me every weekend. So
that's not what Ms. Thomas seems to think, sir.
Okay, I understand. I understand.
You disagree even on how you visit with each other.
I mean, if I gotta wait till next weekend, I'll wait till next weekend. I don't want to, stress nobody out.
You don't? God. This is so sad. It's ridiculous and it's sad.
And one more thing, ma'am. And then after that, I promise I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The weekend before last, when he had my oldest daughter, that dropping them off at other people's house is not cool. If you're fighting to keep your kids, then keep them. Why are you in Galveston at the club and my kids are where? I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't have my children last weekend, man.
Okay, sir,
I'm just being honest.
okay. And again, remember in the beginning, I said, if there's something important, please say it before I make my ruling.
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
why I say that. This is exactly why I say that.
It is. It is.
Okay, we're gonna leave the ruling and it's gonna be referred to district court and you'll be before, and please know, most of the settings before the district courts in Galveston, Mr. Jacomeja, correct me if I'm wrong, are live.
I'll put it on mine. We'll get it. Don't worry.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, so just be aware it's gonna be a live setting next time before the district.
Smart. Very
Live means
smart.
in person.
Live means in person.
Okay.
Did she really just ask that question?
Your Honor,
Yeah,
just to
she
be
did.
clear on the visitation, the
She
second.
did. Okay, so at that point, it just goes on to scheduling. But like, my goodness. So yeah, y'all join Discord. It's fun. I'm gonna go in there. Oh my God, I just broke a new record. 3 hours and 5 seconds of a live stream. That's insane to me. Anyway, I'm gonna go in the voice in Discord for a while. We are going to stream. We're gonna stream some. The thing about Judge Simpson, in person. Yeah, it does mean no video, but you know what? If that means that they're going to get to the bottom of the case and it's going to be what is best for the kids, maybe it should be in person. It probably should. These two need to be in court in person. Maybe they'll take it a little bit more seriously. Maybe they'll have some papers. You know, maybe they'll have their shit together and they can figure out what's best or what's better for their kids. I don't know that best. I don't know what's best for the kids, but if that's going to happen, but like hopefully we can reach for better. But join Discord. I'll go in there while I'm eating dinner. We'll stream the Judge Simpson going in front of the board. I was talking about it with OSG. He told me about it yesterday. It's older, but he goes in front of some kind of committee, gets in trouble for something, or I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. So I'm ready to sit back and watch it. Okay. So where's the button? Where is my stream? Okay. So you guys have fun out there. Be careful, follow the law, follow the rules. Take care of your friends. Bail them out if they need you. Okay, until next time, I'll see you in Discord.